This young man had just received news that he was about to be promoted and went to take a bath to celebrate. But when he came out of the bath, he suddenly felt dizzy. While the young man was still in a daze, a mysterious person walked in. The mysterious person was wearing a helmet and a leather suit. As soon as he walked in, he punched the young man without saying anything, causing him to fly several meters away. The mysterious person fiercely attacked the young man, and the young man, who did not understand anything, was completely unable to resist. He fell straight into the pool. After crawling out of the pool, he discovered that the mysterious person had disappeared. This handsome and flashy-looking young man was named Sul-Yol. He had a smart brain and was very good at observing. Sul-Yol's current goal was to pray for a promotion. That day, Sul-Yol was preparing to go to work when he discovered that his car had been vandalized. He was so angry that he went to the real estate agency to check the camera and found out that he had been dancing around crazily on his car, which caused this to happen. Sul-Yol was a little confused, thinking that he must have been drunk last night and was acting up. Team leader Kim of the drug investigation team accidentally shot the drug dealer in the leg while chasing the drug dealer, causing the drug dealer to fall to his death on the spot. After some reasoning from Sul-Yol, team leader Kim admitted that he wanted to avenge his colleague who was killed by the drug dealer, so he intentionally killed the drug dealer. In fact, the reason Sul-Yol targeted team leader Kim was to make a contribution. Previously, team leader Kim had caught a drug dealer, and that drug dealer happened to be the nephew of the police chief, so Sul-Yol did this to gain the chief's trust. After the incident, his superior promised Sul-Yol that he would promote him to the chief, and this time he would definitely be promoted. Hearing this, Sul-Yol was extremely happy, so he went to the public bathhouse to relax. As a result, he was beaten up for no apparent reason. Sul-Yol went to the reception desk in a rage to ask for clarification. The receptionist said that they had searched all the cameras but could not find the mysterious person that Sul-Yol mentioned. Sul-Yol was upset. How could someone who was right in front of him suddenly disappear? Although he was very angry, at least he had the news of being promoted to comfort him a little. Who would have thought that this would turn out to be a problem? A colleague who had a relationship with Chief took away his chance of promotion. Sul-Yol was extremely dissatisfied. His superiors comforted him that there was a good opportunity to make a contribution. This opportunity was related to Assemblyman Du. Assemblyman Du was running for election. Success was already within sight. However, Assemblyman Du's cousin, Officer Ju of the police station's major crimes unit, had caused a big problem. The superior said that as long as Sul-Yol could help Assemblyman Du solve this trouble, he would definitely be able to make a great contribution. Hearing this, Sul-Yol immediately felt excited again. Very quickly, Assemblyman Du made an appointment to meet Sul-Yol. As soon as Sul-Yol met Assemblyman Du, he continuously praised Assemblyman Du. Sul-Yol knew about the trouble that Assemblyman Du's cousin, Officer Ju, had caused. Matter was related to a patrol officer at a police station. This patrol officer's name was Kyung-tae. This person had a simple personality and was always full of love. A few days ago, Kyung-tae had come across a little girl on the street. The girl had been posting a wanted poster, wanting to find her mother who had disappeared for many days. The kind Kyung-tae was determined to help the girl. He had gone back to his police station to find out detailed information about the missing girl, Yona. It was known that not long before, someone had reported Yona's disappearance. The person in charge of this case at that time was Officer Ju. Kyung-tae asked him about the situation. Unexpectedly, Officer Ju's attitude was extremely superficial. He said that Yona was a bar girl. She had violated the drug use order before. Maybe this time she had just run away from home. Officer Ju did not care about this case at all. Kyung-tae could only take her home. The girl told him that her mother had already prepared a birthday present for her. Hearing this, Kyung-tae was determined to continue investigating. He could not continue to watch her lose her mother. With the help of his colleagues, Kyung-tae found out that Yona had been to a residential area when she was alive. Kyung-tae posted a notice to look for someone in the residential area. With the help of a neighbor, he found the room where Yona had lived, but at this time, it seemed that Yona was not in the room. Kyung-tae could only call a locksmith to open the door. At the same time, the security guard of the residential area reported to someone. As soon as Kyung-tae entered the door, the smell of bleach hit his nose. He followed the scent to the bathroom. As a result, he discovered a bloody hair clump in the bathroom drain. But at this moment, Officer Ju, who was in charge of the case, ran over. But instead of helping, he beat Kyung-tae. Kyung-tae was seriously injured. This was also the problem that Assemblyman Du was most worried about right now. It was also the problem that Sul-Yol needed to solve. Sul-Yol went to find Kyung-tae. He said a few words, hoping that Kyung-tae could apologize to Officer Ju, not to make a big deal out of it and let the small things go. But Kyung-tae told him that he found a bloody hair clump in Yona's bathroom. Sul-Yol went to the scene to check. As a result, he did didn't find anything, so he just thought that Kyung-tae was just watching too many TV dramas. After that, Sul-yeol went to find Officer Ju again. Officer Ju firmly denied that there was a bunch of bloody hair. Sul-yeol had no intention of investigating the truth. He just wanted to resolve the matter quickly. He hoped that both sides could resolve the dispute peacefully. Although Sul-yeol had no intention of investigating, Kyung-tae was extremely persistent. He sneaked into Yeona's house at night to investigate. At this time, Yeona's neighbor suddenly came over. The neighbor said that she had a clue. Kyung-tae followed her to the next room. Unexpectedly, after he didn't pay attention for a moment, the neighbor's attitude suddenly changed. She held a knife and fought back, saying that Kyung-tae wanted to molest her. Kyung-tae was reprimanded by his superiors for this. Sul-yeol then asked the neighbor about this. She said that Kyung-tae had tried to molest her but failed. But Sul-yeol exposed her lie with just a few words. Sul-yeol called Officer Ju. He knew that this neighbor was found by Officer Ju, intentionally framing Kyung-tae. Sul-yeol told Officer Ju not to try to deceive him and not to drag him into trouble. This matter ended here. When he got home at night, Sul-yeol slept tiredly. In a daze, a drop of water ran down his face. Sul-yeol opened his eyes and saw that it was the mysterious person who had appeared at a public bathhouse. Before Sul-yeol could regain consciousness, the mysterious person used his hat to knock him out. When Sul-yeol woke up, he found himself in a bathroom. The bathroom seemed to be surrounded by blue light. The ground and walls were covered with invisible blood stains. While Sul-yeol was still wondering, the mysterious person was outside the door examining the blood stains. Sul-yeol wanted to subdue the mysterious person but was beaten by the other party and could not fight back. The mysterious person drove away on a motorcycle. Sul-yeol had a hard time blocking his way, but the mysterious person didn't seem to be in a hurry. He even drove his motorcycle to tease Sul-yeol. When the bike was about to run over Sul-yeol, the scene before his eyes suddenly disappeared. The mysterious person had disappeared. Sul-yeol also returned to reality in a very confused state. The next day, according to Sul-yeol's arrangement, Officer Ju officially apologized to Kyung-tae publicly. Thanks to that, Officer Ju was exempted from punishment, and his cousin, Assemblyman Do, was naturally exempted from public criticism. Sul-yeol completed his mission excellently, but at this time, Officer Ju said something. Through investigation, it was discovered that yesterday, Yeona's credit card had been swiped. It proved that what Officer Ju said was probably true. Nothing had happened to Yeona. Maybe she really just ran away from home. But things weren't that simple. Kyung-tae went to Yeona's house again. Last time in her house, Kyung-tae saw a wrapped teddy bear. He thought this was the birthday present that Yeona wanted to give to her daughter. He wanted to give it to her for Yeona. Unexpectedly, the construction workers were dismantling the room. The teddy bear was also gone. Kyung-tae didn't understand why the room was being dismantled in such a hurry. At the same time, Assemblyman Do was holding a birthday party for his daughter at home. Sul-yeol, being a great contributor, was naturally invited. To thank Sul-yeol, Assemblyman Do introduced Sul-yeol to many dignitaries. After the birthday party ended, Assemblyman Do's daughter received a pile of gifts. Among them was a teddy bear. Assemblyman Do's wife said that there was a camera in the eye of this teddy bear, which could record and monitor. This was the most popular gift nowadays. Hearing this, Assemblyman Do was terrified. It turned out that Yeona was dead. The one who did it was Assemblyman Do. He had sex with her, but Assemblyman Do didn't expect it at all. The teddy bear that Yeona intended to give her daughter had recorded the entire scene of his crime. On this side, Kyung-tae was very lucky. In the pile of trash downstairs, he found the teddy bear that Yeona intended to give her daughter. He brought the teddy bear to her, but knew that she had already moved away with her relatives. On the way, Kyung-tae was accidentally hit by a car. The teddy bear in his hand was also scratched. The camera in the teddy bear's eye was exposed. Kyung-tae realized something. He took out the memory card from the camera. When he returned home, Kyung-tae intended to watch the video inside. At this time, Officer Ju appeared behind him. Without saying anything, he immediately attacked Kyung-tae, wanting to snatch the memory card back. After a while of struggling, Kyung-tae had no more strength to resist. Officer Ju snatched the memory card and poured gasoline all over the room, wanting to erase all traces. At this time, Sul-yeol had just attended the birthday party of Assemblyman Do's daughter. Sul-yeol was sitting in the car when he suddenly felt a headache. After getting out of the car, he found that the driver had disappeared. The mysterious person wearing a helmet appeared in front of the car. Sul-yeol and the mysterious person were enemies, and they fought every time they met. Sul-yeol was beaten up. The mysterious person dragged him to a house on the roof. It was Kyung-tae's house. The mysterious person wanted Sul-yeol to apologize to Kyung-tae. Sul-yeol didn't understand anything. The mysterious person opened the door. Suddenly, a light came. Sul-yeol and the mysterious person were both thrown out. Sul-yeol wanted to run away. The mysterious person dragged him into the fire again. He insisted on wanting Sul-yeol to apologize to Kyung-tae. Kyung-tae Kyung-tae had already fallen into a coma. The fire spread further and further. The van was about to explode. The situation was urgent. The mysterious person broke the glass window. Sul-yeol hugged Kyung-tae and jumped down. In the end, the two of them fell onto the car without any worries. A few seconds later, the mysterious person jumped down. He was like a superhero saving the world at this moment. He was cool, put out the fire on his body, then took off his helmet. The face inside the helmet was handsome and arrogant. His name was K, a crazy person who was the complete opposite of Sul-yeol. But no matter what, Sul-yeol never expected that from now on, he and K would be inseparable. After escaping death, Sul-yeol had to go to the hospital. Luckily, the injury was not serious, but Kyung-tae was in a worse condition. Until now, he still hadn't been woken up. Sul-yeol was eager to know who K was, why he kept clinging to him and wouldn't let go. But for some reason, Sul-yeol asked all of Kyung-tae's neighbors, and there was no mysterious person wearing a helmet last night. Sul-yeol kept muttering about this all day. His best friend thought he was crazy, so his best friend introduced him to a psychologist doctor. Sul-yeol went to see a doctor, but the doctor said he was hallucinating. Just get a good night's sleep and it would be fine. While Sul-yeol was wondering, bad news arrived. The police station started spreading rumors. It was said that because Sul-yeol investigated the Yona disappearance case too deeply, Kyung-tae, who was innocent, was pressured into choosing to leave this world. Now it was good. It was clear that Sul-yeol had saved someone, but now he was a bad guy in the mouths of his colleagues at police station. His superiors asked Sul-yeol to quickly clean up the mess. Otherwise, according to the current public opinion, his hope of promotion would be impossible. Originally, Sul-yeol didn't want to get involved in this matter, but now for the sake of his future, he had to investigate the truth. The breakthrough in the Yona disappearance case lied in Kyung-tae. According to Kyung-tae's phone signal, he had gone to Yona's house yesterday. This showed that Kyung-tae had not given up on investigating Yona's case. But didn't Officer Ju say that Yona's credit card was swiped yesterday? Her colleague said that Yona's credit card was lost, and that she was not the one who swiped the card. In that case, it was possible that Yona was really murdered. Sul-yeol went to the house Yona rented before, but the place had been redecorated, and there were no clues left. Sul-yeol went to the bathroom, and the scene of the invisible bloodstains in the bathroom, along with the fight with the mysterious person in the bathroom last night, suddenly appeared in his mind. Sul-yeol had a headache. He wanted his colleague to go down and look for the apartment's camera. For now, this was the only clue. As soon as he left the door, Sul-yeol discovered a missing poster stuck on the phone booth. It was Yona's daughter who was looking for her missing mother. Sul-yeol invited her to eat ice cream. Looking at her innocent face, Sul-yeol felt very sorry for her. After returning to the police station, Sul-yeol rushed to investigate Yona's case. His colleagues looked at camera near the apartment building and found a clue. A car appeared on the camera with a chimney on the roof. Sul-yeol immediately realized that there was something wrong with this car. The chimney on the roof of the car meant that there was a mobile crematorium in the car. Sul-yeol keenly realized that it was related to Yona's disappearance. Through investigating the car's route, he found the car's last stop. There was a house nearby, with people still inside. Sul-yeol wanted to ask, but the other party was very smart and took the opportunity to escape. Sul-yeol couldn't catch up, so he could only smash the car door. Sure enough, just as he had predicted, there was a mobile crematorium in the car. Sul-yeol brought the ashes from the furnace back to the research institute for analysis. The results were in. There were human bones. That was to say, stuffing a person in there to erase all traces. Now just need to do a DNA test to know if the dead person was Yona or not. Therefore, Sul-yeol went to find Yona's younger brother to get his DNA for comparison. The results were quickly out. The ashes in the furnace were indeed Yona. Only then did Sul-yeol understand. Kyung-tae's suspicion at that time was not wrong. At this time, Sul-yeol thought of something. Kyung-tae's neighbor once said that there was a delivery man delivering food near Kyung-tae's house that night. Usually, there was a camera installed on the delivery man's helmet. Sul-yeol immediately ran to the food store. As a result, through the camera on the delivery man's head, an all-important clue was discovered. Someone appeared on the camera. It was Officer Ju. Sul-yeol wondered why it was such a coincidence. Why did Officer Ju appear near Kyung-tae's house that night? Sul-yeol had doubts. He thought that Officer Ju must have done it to Yona. As a result, because Kyung-tae insisted on investigating, Officer Ju wanted to eliminate Kyung-tae. The fire that night was definitely started by Officer Ju. As soon as he came to this conclusion, Sul-yeol hurriedly went to arrest him. Unexpectedly, Officer Ju didn't panic at all and told him completely opposite news. It turned out that a knife was found under Kyung-tae's water tank. On it were Kyung-tae's fingerprints and Yona's blood. Therefore, Kyung-tae was considered a suspect in Yona's murder. Sul-yeol naturally wouldn't believe it. He suspected that Officer Ju had framed Kyung-tae. His guess was correct. Officer Ju had secretly taken Kyung-tae's fingerprints and had intentionally eventually placed the bloody Bori knife in his house. Sul-yeol reported his suspicions to the superiors, but the superior said that Assemblyman Du had called him. Assemblyman Du said that the night Yo-na had an accident, he and Officer Ju had been together all night. Sul-yeol was surprised. The superior showed him a part of the file. Sul-yeol was destined to be promoted. The superior asked him not to look for trouble and ruin his future. For the sake of the future, Sul-yeol chose to remain silent. Then the story of Kyungtae's involvement in Yo-na's murder spread everywhere in the media. On the other hand, Officer Ju's suspicions were cleared. Assemblyman Du, his cousin, also easily won a very high approval rating in the election. Sul-yeol was also easily promoted, becoming the head of the anti-corruption team. Only the girl who lost her mother sat alone at her mother's funeral, trying to look strong. For some reason, Sul-yeol was promoted, but he couldn't smile. In the evening, Hye-gyum, a colleague from the police station, came to find Sul-yeol. Hye-gyum was not only Sul-yeol's colleague, but also his ex-girlfriend, with 2 years' love. Hye-gyum reminded Sul-yeol that Kyungtae and Yo-na did not know each other. They had no contact at all, so how could they have a motive for the crime? Not only that, Hye-gyum also provided Sul-yeol with some information. It turned out that Yo-na was a spy for an officer in the drug investigation team at the police station. A few days ago that officer had been murdered. After that, Yo-na had also died. Was it really a coincidence? Hye-gyum suspected that this case was not simply a murder. A few days ago, Hye-gyum went to find other spies from this police station. One of the spies said that he had installed a camera on Yo-na's necklace, which would help the police obtain information. Hye-gyum thought that if he could find that necklace, he might find some clues, but Sul-yeol was a little impatient. He had already been promoted and didn't want to cause trouble for himself anymore. Sul-yeol sent Hye-gyum away and drove home. Even so, Hye-gyum's words kept replaying in his mind. At this moment, the elevator in the community suddenly got stuck. Unable to contact the real estate agency, with no phone signal, Sul-yeol frantically knocked on the elevator door. A moment later, someone outside opened the elevator door. It was the mysterious K. But K not only didn't save Sul-yeol, he jumped in. K jumped around in the elevator for a while. Finally, K kicked the elevator and it went down. When Sul-yeol opened his eyes, he found himself going backwards. He turned around and saw K carrying him on a motorcycle. K recklessly walked through the mall like a madman. Finally, he rushed out onto the street and started speeding. Sul-yeol was about to go crazy. He wondered what the hell this guy was doing. Finally, K's motorcycle stopped. Sul-yeol recognized it. Wasn't this the place where he chased the crematorium car a few days ago? That day, he wanted to ask the boss, but he had run away. Sul-yeol thought that he would definitely know something. It was true. A few days ago, Officer Ju had given these thugs some money, forcing them to temporarily avoid fighting. But these thugs didn't listen and even returned to their hideout. Before Sul-yeol could understand anything, K pulled him into the house. K wanted Sul-yeol to force these thugs to tell him the details of the case. Of course, they refused. K was determined to use his strength. The thugs began to surround K. Taking that opportunity, Sul-yeol found a chest of jewelry. One of the necklaces belonged to Yo-na. Sul-yeol immediately took the necklace away. At this time, K started to fight back fiercely. He sat on the oil drum, covered in black, and shouted loudly that it was so cool. The thugs didn't dare to come near. K took the opportunity to finish them all off. By the time K completely defeated the thugs, Sul-yeol had already escaped. After returning home, Sul-yeol took out the memory card from the necklace. Sure enough, there was a video in it. Sul-yeol opened it to watch. He discovered that Assemblyman Du had killed Yo-na. This fact made Sul-yeol not know what to do. After thinking for a while, Sul-yeol decided not to meddle in other people's business. After all, this matter was related to his future. But when Sul-yeol was about to throw away the necklace, K appeared and snatched the necklace away. Sul-yeol went crazy. K continued to drive around as if teasing him. Sul-yeol curiously asked K who he was. K smiled and said that he was the last hero of that era, specializing in dealing with the incorrigible villains. Sul-yeol looked puzzled. K smiled again and jumped into the lake. But when Sul-yeol looked down, there was no one in the water. The next day, Assemblyman Du had successfully run for office. He invited the people working at the police station and Sul-yeol to a meal. Sul-yeol knew that this person was the murderer, but he still maintained a respectful attitude on the surface. Before going out, Sul-yeol's head hurt again. At the same time, K appeared, and this time without saying much, he ran towards Assemblyman Du. He jumped up and kicked Assemblyman Du hard. At that moment, Sul-yeol suddenly understood something. It turned out that he and K were the same person. In other words, K was another personality in Sul-yeol's body. Previously, saving Kyungtae, finding traces in Yo-na's house, fighting with the thugs, all of these were done by this personality of Sul-yeol. If Sul-yeol is a bad guy who doesn't distinguish between right and wrong, then K is the passionate madman who always pursues justice in Sul-yeol's body. He wants to use his crazy fist to strike a strong blow to this dirty world. K kicked straight straight at Assemblyman Do and continuously punched him in the face, saying that he was the murderer. It wasn't until everyone pulled him away that Sulyol realized what he had done. Not far away, Kay was teasing. Sulyol chased after Kay to stop him, but when he looked closely, the person who was handcuffed was himself. This time, Sulyol realized that he and Kay were the same person. Now it was a disaster. Assemblyman Do definitely wouldn't let this go. To protect his future, Sulyol had to force the restless person in his body to leave no matter what. Sulyol went to see the psychologist doctor, hoping to cure his multiple personality disorder. The doctor hypnotized him. During the hypnosis, Sulyol's thoughts and a deep layer of consciousness, a boy who ran away in panic, appeared deep in his brain. But before he could understand this consciousness, Sulyol woke up. The doctor prescribed medicine for Sulyol and taught him to use self-suggestion to fight against the second personality. At first, it was fine. One pill, one psychological suggestion, and Kay immediately disappeared before his eyes. Unfortunately, he couldn't take too much medicine. Suggestion couldn't be used too much. The end result was not ideal at all. Kay still appeared by Sulyol's side at all times. It wasn't until Sulyol fell into a deep sleep that Kay disappeared again. The next day, his colleague and ex-girlfriend, Hye Guillaume, came to find him. Sulyol showed her the video of Assemblyman Do killing someone. He also agreed to cooperate with her in the investigation. To prove Assemblyman Do's crime, they had to find that important necklace. The truth was that Assemblyman Do had murdered Yo Na. It was all in that memory card. To find the necklace, Sulyol searched all the shelves in the house, but found nothing. On the contrary, he found a motorcycle helmet locked in a safe, along with photos of when he was in love with Hye Guillaume. Sulyol remembered. Yesterday, he seemed to have thrown the necklace into the lake. As a result, they searched the lake for half a day, but except for the coal, they still found nothing. To find some comfort, Sulyol went to his mother's shop. Unexpectedly, by coincidence, the necklace was around his mother's neck. Sulyol felt safe. The next day, he immediately handed over the video on the memory card to his superiors to watch. But unfortunately, the video was damaged. It was impossible to confirm that the person filmed was Assemblyman Do. What's more, even if it was Assemblyman Do, the video didn't capture the process of him killing someone. Based on Assemblyman Do's power, this little bit of evidence was completely impossible to convict him. Fortunately, based on Sulyol's persuasive ability, his superiors agreed to let him secretly investigate. Now the evidence of the necklace was useless, so the thugs who helped Assemblyman Do dispose of Yo Na's body were the only breakthrough at the moment. According to his colleagues' investigation, the leader of these thugs was Boss Park. Boss Park specialized in private transactions. He was a clandestine trader. From crossing the border to disposing of corpses, as long as he could make money, he would do anything. Unfortunately, by the time Sulyol arrived, Boss Park had already disappeared. Unable to find Boss Park, Sulyol could only go to find Assemblyman Do's cousin. According to the current analysis of the clues, Officer Ju and Assemblyman Do, these two people must be one group. They entrusted Boss Park to handle Yo Na's body. If he couldn't do it, then Officer Ju would do it himself. So that meant Officer Ju was an assistant to Assemblyman Do. Sulyol advised Officer Ju to give up doing evil. Otherwise, sooner or later, Assemblyman Do would abandon him. But Officer Ju completely ignored and did not listen to Sulyol's advice. Sulyol did not expect that after the investigation had come this far, he would find a new breakthrough. Today just so happened to be Sulyol's birthday. His older brother prepared a table of food to celebrate him. In fact, Sulyol and his older brother were not biological siblings. He was adopted by his adoptive mother. His adoptive mother treated him no differently than her own son. Sulyol also treated his adoptive mother and older brother as his own family. Suddenly, his older brother asked Sulyol what to do with those things. Sulyol was a bit confused. His older brother said that those things were sent back from outside by Sulyol, as was his mother's necklace. Sulyol immediately ran over with his older brother to see. As a result, his older brother brought out a chest of goods, which was full of jewelry. Only then did Sulyol remember that day, after defeating the thugs, he had carried that chest of goods away. Originally, Sulyol planned to ask his colleagues to investigate where those thugs were hiding. Unexpectedly, his older brother said he had a way. It turned out that his older brother often ventured into the black market. He helped Sulyol post those items on the black market website. Now all he had to do was wait for the thugs to take the bait. Unexpectedly, trouble came at this moment. Sulyol was investigating Assemblyman Do. Assemblyman Do was also investigating Sulyol. Assemblyman Do was acting secretly. A prosecutor came to investigate Sulyol's source of money for being a police officer. Sulyol was not a very honest person. In the past, he had schemed against his colleagues, and the money he had collected was not completely clean. Now it was good. If Assemblyman Do found out about this weakness, then he would lose. Except for Assemblyman Do, the thugs were just as Sulyol had predicted. They were trying their best to find the chest of goods that he had carried. After much effort, the thugs had successfully found the goods that Sul-yeol's older brother had posted on the black market. Unfortunately, Sul-yeol was too careless. He had thought that his older brother could help him find the thugs, but unexpectedly, they called Sul-yeol. They had already captured Sul-yeol's older brother and used him as a hostage to force Sul-yeol to hand over the chest of goods. Sul-yeol quietly went to the address they had sent. He secretly contacted his colleagues and told them to call a few more people to surround the place. Before his colleagues could arrive, Sul-yeol was surrounded by the thugs. Without saying anything, they started to smash Sul-yeol's car. Sul-yeol was forced into a corner and could only run away. Finally, he escaped to a supermarket. The thugs kept on following and wouldn't let go. Being surrounded and beaten by a group of people made Sul-yeol extremely desperate. He wished K would appear to save him more than ever. But at this moment, K did not appear. Sul-yeol used the tools in the supermarket to defeat a few of them, but he was too weak. 3 thugs surrounded him. After a few attacks, they knocked him down to the ground. When Sul-yeol opened his eyes, a familiar face appeared in front of him. That person was none other than K. K leisurely finished chewing on a snack. Then, he picked up the mosquito racket. In just 2 moves, he defeated almost all of these thugs. The remaining one still refused to give up. K decisively pulled out the rope again, demonstrating the act of using rope to tie people up. Without much effort, he tied up these 2. During the fight, K was injured in the hand by the last thug, but he still ignored it and even laughed crazily. When the thug wanted to deal a fatal blow, Hee-gyum rushed over in time and kicked her opponent away with one leg. She also handcuffed Boss Park. The thugs were all defeated and K also disappeared. Sul-yeol returned. Sul-yeol's hand was injured. Hee-gyum tenderly bandaged it. Looking at the angelic girlfriend in front of him, both Sul-yeol and K were moved. Very quickly, the police arrested all the thugs. Sul-yeol began to interrogate. He wanted to find out the truth about Assemblyman Do's crime from Boss Park. Thanks to Sul-yeol's efforts, Boss Park revealed Officer Ju. Everything was just as Sul-yeol had predicted. It was Officer Ju who hired Boss Park to dispose of Yona's body. Sul-yeol immediately turned on the whistle to arrest Officer Ju, but he was too late. Officer Ju had left this world on his own. It was Assemblyman Do who did it to kill and silence him. Assemblyman Do went to find the drug dealer who cooperated with him. He promised to open a company for the drug dealer so that they could sell drugs openly and transparently. The condition was to help him eliminate Officer Ju. He couldn't let the police investigate him through Officer Ju. The important person, Officer Ju, had left this world. Dangers began to appear one after another. The prosecutor suddenly came to Sul-yeol's office, taking all his documents and files. They said they wanted to check it. When they went to the shop that Sul-yeol's mother opened, all the books in the shop were taken away by the prosecutor. Sul-yeol knew clearly that this was all a trick of Assemblyman Do. As expected, Assemblyman Do called him. Following Assemblyman Do's instructions, Sul-yeol went to an underground nightclub. Inside were all kinds of luxury items. Assemblyman Do no longer acted like a gentleman like usual. As soon as Sul-yeol saw Assemblyman Do, he apologized and begged in all kinds of ways. He said that everything was his fault, hoping that Assemblyman Do could not hold it against him. Now, the necklace that could indirectly prove Assemblyman Do's crime had returned to him. At present, Sul-yeol could only humbly bow his head and beg for mercy. Assemblyman Do implied that Sul-yeol wanted him to resign from the police station. Sul-yeol didn't want to, but facing Assemblyman Do's power, he could only endure. Sul-yeol could only drink Assemblyman Do's wine, then humbly say that he would definitely resign. Assemblyman Do won this battle. That was not enough. Assemblyman Do also tried to mock Sul-yeol. He took out an object, which was the video of Yona being killed by him before her daughter's birthday. Every word in it was filled with the love and blessings of a mother for her daughter. Looking at this warm video, Sul-yeol thought of Yona's daughter. That young face and those strong eyes made Sul-yeol feel heartbroken and ashamed. At this time, a phone call came in. It was Kyung-tae. It turned out that Kyung-tae, who had been in a coma for many days, had woken up. On the other end of the phone, Kyung-tae's tone was very urgent, saying that someone was chasing him. He hoped that Sul-yeol would help him. For now, all of Sul-yeol's exits were blocked, and Kyung-tae had already investigated this case deeply. Perhaps this was the only breakthrough that could bring Assemblyman Do to justice. The story went back to a few hours ago. At that time, Officer Ju was still alive. In order to replace his cousin to deal with this troublemaker, Kyung-tae, Officer Ju had intended to kill Kyung-tae. Unexpectedly, he had not been paying attention for a moment and had let Kyung-tae escape. Kyung-tae hid in the car and attacked Officer Ju from behind, forcing him to say who killed Yona. Unexpectedly this time, Officer Ju did not resist at all, but he even frankly said that the one who did it was Assemblyman Do. He even took out a recording pen. It recorded the argument between him and Assemblyman Do. It turned out that Officer Ju did a bad job, so Assemblyman Do took him out to vent his anger. Officer Officer Ju wanted to protect himself, so he recorded the VAT argument, and the content of the argument was related to Yona being harmed. As soon as he got the recording pen, Kyung-tae immediately contacted Sul-yeol. At the moment, only Sul-yeol could help him catch Assemblyman Do. With Sul-yeol's help, Kyung-tae escaped to a safe house. He told Sul-yeol about the recording pen, but in the recording, Assemblyman Do did not clearly say that he had killed Yona. Therefore, this pen could not be used as direct evidence to incriminate him. At this time, Sul-yeol kept seeing himself kneeling humbly before Assemblyman Do. He didn't want it to be like that either, but now the initiative was in the hands of his opponent. Starting from now, the situation changed rapidly. In the evening, Assemblyman Do led a group of people to break into Kyung-tae's hiding place. What Kyung-tae didn't expect was that Sul-yeol was the one who led Assemblyman Do there. Kyung-tae immediately realized that he had been betrayed by Sul-yeol. Kyung-tae questioned Assemblyman Do about the murder, but Assemblyman Do was very cunning. He said that he didn't know Yona at all. Not only that, Sul-yeol also found a recording pen on map. Kyung-tae. Now Assemblyman Do had nothing to be afraid of. He remembered that Kyung-tae always wanted to investigate his crimes, so Assemblyman Do had to teach him a lesson. Sul-yeol gave Assemblyman Do a golf club. Assemblyman Do tormented Kyung-tae with the golf club. Kyung-tae was beaten mercilessly, but he kept accusing Assemblyman Do of being the murderer. Sul-yeol was extremely ashamed, but did not lend a hand, until Assemblyman Do was provoked by Kyung-tae to the point of insanity, and finally he accidentally said. At this moment, Sul-yeol rushed up and kicked Assemblyman Do away. It turned out that the scene just now was a plan that Sul-yeol and Kyung-tae had discussed beforehand. They wanted Assemblyman Do to be pressured to the point of admitting to the murder. Now, Assemblyman Do had admitted to his crime. A small voice recorder was hidden in Sul-yeol's shirt. This was the evidence that Assemblyman Do had killed someone. Sul-yeol was about to arrest Assemblyman Do when a man suddenly rushed in. It was a drug dealer who had a cooperative relationship with Assemblyman Do. The drug dealer saved Assemblyman Do. Sul-yeol chased after him and caught him, but was defeated by the drug dealer. At this moment, K appeared. K's fighting ability was always invincible. With just a few moves, he had already dealt with the drug dealer. In the end, Assemblyman Do was arrested. The injured Kyung-tae was also taken to the hospital. After a while, Kyung-tae was discharged safely. He and Sul-yeol went to visit Yona's daughter. They considered themselves to have gotten justice for the girl who lost her mother. Because of this, Sul-yeol had become a hero of the police station. But what he cared about most now was not this, but the fact that he had been investigated by the prosecutor before. His personal account was not clean at all, but unexpectedly, the prosecutor's office said that Sul-yeol had donated all the money in his personal account to the youth center. Sul-yeol was extremely confused. He immediately checked his account balance. As a result, there was no money left in the card. At that moment, Sul-yeol was really desperate. That was the money he had painstakingly saved for years. Sul-yeol knew that K must have done it. He went to the youth center to ask them to pay him back, but the money had already been donated. There was no way to return it. Sul-yeol was furious. He even pretended to jump off the building and leave this world, wanting to force K out of his body. Sul-yeol needed to talk things out with him. Finally, K appeared. But before Sul-yeol could ask him what he was doing, K started to reason. K said that he was all doing good things for the future of the Yang country. Sul-yeol should be proud. Sul-yeol asked K why he insisted on donating to the youth center. K also didn't understand why he was so stubborn in donating to this place. At this time, Sul-yeol was still in a state of collapse. He threatened to jump off the building and leave this world. If he died, K would no longer be able to exist, and there would be no more nonsense. But K wasn't worried at all, because he knew that Sul-yeol was a coward, and didn't have the courage to jump off the building and leave this world. Not only that, but K also knew that the money was all dirty money that Sul-yeol had obtained by flattering the powerful. K advised Sul-yeol to wake up, not forget what a policeman should do. Sul-yeol had no choice but to deal with K. Now it was good. He didn't even have money to pay the rent. With no other choice, Sul-yeol could only patiently move from the luxury house to his adoptive mother's house, living under the same roof with his mother and older brother. But this wasn't the worst. The most important thing was that Sul-yeol had to put up with K too. Starting from that day, K was like a tail that couldn't be cut off. He appeared by Sul-yeol's side all day and night. At home, at work, or after work, K still followed. When he went to take a shower, K also appeared in the same bathroom as Sul-yeol. Sul-yeol was going crazy. If this continued, he would have no privacy at all, even though the person who shared everything with him was another version of himself sharing the same body. To get rid of K, Sul-yeol thought of a trick. He made a proposal to K. During the day, this body would belong to him. Then at night, this body would belong to K. The two of them would each occupy this body for 12 hours. That way, no one would bother anyone, and K could also take take action to arrest all the bad guys and bring them to justice. To make K believe his proposal, Sul-yeol also hired someone to install a small camera on his watch. K could monitor his every move at any time. Only then did K agree. But as soon as K agreed, Sul-yeol quietly took off his watch. It was not yet time for K to appear. Sul-yeol could freely do whatever he wanted. He took advantage of his position to earn some spending money. Sul-yeol went to a private nightclub. The nightclub owner was a retired criminal police officer who had received a large bribe. Previously, Sul-yeol had even helped this person solve a bribery case. This time, Sul-yeol brought up the past. The purpose was to get the other party to take out the money so that he could keep it a secret. The nightclub owner was a smart person. He took out 2 envelopes of money for Sul-yeol. Sul-yeol was extremely satisfied, but before he could be happy for 2 seconds, K appeared again. K not only smashed the nightclub but also took the bribe book of the boss. In the end, he also threw away 2 envelopes of money that Sul-yeol had worked hard to get. Sul-yeol could no longer bear the torment of K. He went to see a psychologist. The doctor told him that this situation showed that the 2 personalities in his body were increasingly separating more clearly. If this continued, not only would he lose all his physical strength, making his body unable to hold on, but his main personality will also become weaker and weaker. On the contrary, K's personality will become stronger and stronger, and in the end, his body will be completely taken over by K. Sul-yeol panics, but the situation does not change for the better. Every night, K's personality awakens. Every time K wakes up, he is embarrassed, holding a bouquet of flowers and standing in front of his ex-girlfriend Hee-gyum's house. Although they have broken up, perhaps Sul-yeol himself did not expect it. In fact, he still loves Hee-gyum deeply, but whether it is K or Sul-yeol, they do not know that dear Hee-gyum is about to face a great disaster. Although Assemblyman Do has been detained for murder, the case is not really over. Hee-gyum is in the drug testing team at police station. She has found out that Assemblyman Do not only attacked Yo-na, but also used drugs. The drugs found at Assemblyman Do's house were the latest type. The production and sale of these drugs was a newly emerged criminal organization. Dismantling this organization was the goal of the drug screening team and Hee-gyum. Previously, an officer from the team was murdered while investigating Assemblyman Do. Hee-gyum planned to use this as a prelude to investigating this drug trafficking case. At the moment, the only breakthrough was Assemblyman Do. As long as Assemblyman Do confessed, they could arrest this organization in one fell swoop. But as expected, Assemblyman Do refused to cooperate. Hee-gyum's investigation was stopped. At the same time, although Assemblyman Do was already in prison, he found a lawyer who intended to pay him to get out of jail. In fact, Assemblyman Do used the lawyer's phone to call the drug dealer. Currently, they were on the same side. He was still waiting for the drug dealer to rescue him. Unfortunately, Assemblyman Do's calculation was wrong. The next day, a prisoner suddenly stabbed Assemblyman Do repeatedly with a pen. Fortunately, the prison guard arrived in time, so Assemblyman Do was saved. Assemblyman Do woke up and said that the drug dealer wanted to kill him. He also said that as long as the police kept him safe, he would cooperate with the investigation. From then on, Assemblyman Do became the key to solving the case for the police. Hee-gyum was worried that the drug dealer would continue to find ways to eliminate Assemblyman Do. She suggested that tonight they should take him to another prison. Her superior agreed with her. At night, Hee-gyum and her colleagues were in charge of the relocation, but when the car had only gone halfway, a truck crashed into them. The prison car flipped over. Everyone inside the car was injured. At this time, a man broke the barrier and got into the car to eliminate Assemblyman Do and Hee-gyum's colleagues. But for some reason, the man saved Hee-gyum's life, so Hee-gyum was suspected by her superiors. Her superiors wanted to investigate her. At this moment, K appeared again. He was very worried about Hee-gyum. K insisted that Hee-gyum was wronged for the sake of the girl he loved. K promised Sul-yeol that as long as Sul-yeol helped clear Hee-gyum's name, he would disappear forever. So Sul-yeol made a deal with K. At that moment, Sul-yeol swore that he would definitely save Hee-gyum. So Sul-yeol took the initiative to ask his superiors to let him investigate Hee-gyum. The focus of this investigation was the news that the prison camp was relocated that night. The relocation plan and route were kept absolutely secret, and very few people knew about it. Sul-yeol thought that the most suspicious person was someone in Hee-gyum's drug screening team, but this clue was not easy to investigate. Luckily, there was a witness that night. However, the photo had only clearly shown the witness as a man, but not his appearance. At that time, K realized that the witness's hand had an exclusive bracelet from a certain nightclub. Based on this clue, Sul-yeol got the nightclub's balance sheet. Through the selected guests, Sul-yeol noticed a guy, but no matter how Sul-yeol asked, the guy insisted that he hadn't seen anything. At that time, K stepped out again. He even pulled the guy's collar, wanting to hit him. Luckily, Hee-gyum stopped him. him. Now it was bad. K often appeared at the wrong time, making Sul-yeol extremely angry. To completely solve this problem with K, Sul-yeol went to see a psychologist again. The psychologist said that multiple personalities might be related to Sul-yeol's childhood trauma. To completely cure it, he had to return to the beginning. Therefore, the doctor helped Sul-yeol undergo hypnosis. After entering the hypnotic state, a hallway and many doors appeared in Sul-yeol's consciousness. There was also a boy who ran away in panic. Before Sul-yeol could take a closer look, he woke up. His subconscious was unclear, so Sul-yeol could only continue to endure K. At that time, the case had fallen into a stalemate. At the same time, a group of police officers came to Hee-gyum's house. The police said that they had received a report of a missing item there, but after investigating, they had discovered some drugs. This time, it was real trouble. According to the regulations, Sul-yeol was the main person in charge of case. He was forced to arrest Hee-gyum. With no other choice, Sul-yeol could only put handcuffs on the girl he loved. Hee-gyum realized that someone must have wanted to frame her. He had intentionally given her a way out before, and he had definitely wanted her to take the blame. The important thing at that moment was that the only person who could harm Hee-gyum was someone who knew her very well. Except for the drug screening team, there was no one else. But who was it? Hee-gyum had no idea. In her opinion, they were as close as family. She was hoping that the team leader could save her, but Hee-gyum was wrong. Moreover, he was completely wrong. It turned out that the mastermind behind it was none other than Hee-gyum's most trusted superior, Team Leader Kim of the drug screening team. Team Leader Kim was the one who protected Assemblyman Do in drug trafficking. He also had a capable assistant, Officer Dong-gu. The two of them had done a lot of bad things together. Not only that, Team Leader Kim also had connections with a drug trafficking organization that had recently appeared. The middleman in it was the blind drug dealer Jisoo. Jisoo was wanted. Team Leader Kim used conditions to help him escape the wanted list and then ordered him to eliminate Assemblyman Do. It was he who reported the time and route of the vehicle to Officer Dong-gu. In addition to that, Team Leader Kim also ordered Jisoo to help him steal drugs from the drug lord. It was the latest drug, which could earn him some new money, but drug dealers were not easy to mess with. They were determined to find the person who stole the drugs. In order to avoid being discovered and also to frame Hee-gyum, Dong-gu hid a small portion of the drugs in Hee-gyum's house. At this time, on Sul-yeol's side, the only person he could look forward to was the young witness. He looked for that young man again, but this person was still the same, insisting that he knew nothing. At the crucial moment, K's hot-tempered personality appeared again. He chased after the young witness who was running away. At this moment, Sul-yeol's phone rang. Again, it was Kyung-tae calling. A few days ago, Kyung-tae had been transferred to Sul-yeol's anti-corruption team because of his excellent performance in the case of Assemblyman Do, becoming Sul-yeol's subordinate. Kyung-tae found an important clue. On the night of the crime, an ambulance with a fake license plate appeared at the scene. After hanging up, Sul-yeol analyzed the pros and cons for the witness. Finally, the witness told him what happened that night. That day, he had indeed seen the crime unfold. He had also seen the suspect get into the ambulance. That being said, there was definitely something wrong with this ambulance. Sul-yeol asked Kyung-tae to immediately track the route of the ambulance. Kyung-tae quickly found the ambulance. Now the ambulance was in an old parking lot. Moreover, when it arrived, it deliberately avoided the camera, making it difficult to find out the identity of the owner. At this moment, Kyung-tae's intelligence exploded. He said that there must be some dash cams in the parking lot that had not been removed. It would be easier to find out if there were dash cams. As expected, the appearance of the real owner was recorded on the dash cam. It was the drug dealer, Jisoo. Then the problem came. This Jisoo guy had escaped, completely untraceable. At the crucial moment, Kyung-tae's intelligence came into play. Those people had found a truck stabbing people, then found an ambulance to cover their escape. It might have something to do with the car management company. Furthermore, to avoid being tracked, they might have recently abolished the company. Sure enough, Kyung-tae had found out that a car management company had recently closed down. Sul-yeol thought Kyung-tae was really cute. In fact, this car management company was just a used car lot. Sul-yeol hurriedly went out. He found that both sides of his car were jammed, unable to open the door. At the crucial moment, K appeared on a motorcycle. Sul-yeol immediately took off K's helmet. He also brought K to the old car yard. Sure enough, this scrap yard had problems. Sul-yeol discovered quite a lot of drugs in it. At this time, a group of drug dealers arrived. As soon as they appeared, they wanted to beat people up. This time, Sul-yeol and K worked together, each contributing their part to defeat this group of people. But when Sul-yeol let down his guard, a needle was inserted straight into his vein. It was Jisoo who did it. Sul-yeol fell into a coma. As soon as Sul-yeol fainted, K, his second personality, naturally fainted as well. When Sul-yeol woke up, he was already tied up. The people walking towards him were Team Leader Kim and Dong-gu. In order to protect himself, Dong-gu intended to kill Jisoo to silence him. but when he pulled the trigger, he was shot by Team Leader Kim from behind. It turned out that Team Leader Kim did not give up on these drugs. As long as he sold these drugs, he would enjoy happiness in the second half of his life. So, Team Leader Kim and Jisoo reached a deal. Team Leader Kim used the condition of helping him escape the wanted list so that Jisoo could steal drugs from the drug lord for him. The drug lord was a cruel beauty. She would never allow Team Leader Kim to brazenly steal her belongings like that. So Team Leader Kim cooperated with the drug lord. From now on, he would use his police power to help the drug lord open a legal market, and the drugs the drug lord sold would have to give him a commission. They both benefited. Team Leader Kim was a smart man. He ordered Jisoo to kill Dong-gu. Jisoo wanted to save his life, so he had no choice but to attack Dong-gu. If Dong-gu died, from now on, there would be one less person who knew about Team Leader Kim's affairs. Sul-yeol was tied up and witnessed this scene with his own eyes. After finishing off his subordinates, Team Leader Kim wanted to eliminate another person who knew about this, Sul-yeol. At the moment of life and death, Sul-yeol immediately surrendered. He said that he would help Team Leader Kim solve everything. At that time, he would tell his colleagues that Dong-gu and the drug dealer Jisoo were on the same side. The two of them killed each other. Moreover, he had been injected with drugs now. Once the police station was raided, he would not be able to escape. Team Leader Kim heard this and did not take action, but he was a schemer. He demanded that Sul-yeol leave his fingerprints on the syringe. An hour ago, he had deposited some money into Sul-yeol's older brother's account. If Sul-yeol dared to use tricks in the future, the money of unknown origin and the fingerprints on the syringe would be unexplainable. Now it was good. Don't talk about helping Hee-gyeom investigate anymore. Even Sul-yeol himself could not protect himself. In order to save his life, Sul-yeol could only follow Team Leader Kim's instructions. After his colleagues arrived, he blamed everything on Dong-gu. He said that Dong-gu was worried that his cooperation with drug dealer Jisoo would be exposed. Therefore, Dong-gu wanted to eliminate Jisoo. As a result, one person died and one person was injured. Team Leader Kim simply did not come to the rescue in time. Both his colleagues and superiors believed his words. Except for K, he angrily questioned Sul-yeol why he did not expose Team Leader Kim. But this time, Sul-yeol did not give in at all. He even beat K up because he just wanted to survive. Although the evil side won this time, it also proved that this matter had nothing to do with Hee-gyeom. Sul-yeol went to the detention center to visit Hee-gyeom and told her the situation. Hee-gyeom accidentally mentioned something that happened last month. This matter was also related to Team Leader Kim. At that time, Team Leader Kim had been chasing the drug dealer. Unexpectedly, during the chase, a colleague named Tae had suddenly fallen down the stairs and had died on the spot. According to Team Leader Kim's testimony at that time, after he discovered that Officer Tae fell down the stairs, he looked up and saw another colleague named Sim. This colleague was also using drugs. He was the one who pushed Officer Tae down. Then, Team Leader Kim shot him in the leg, which led to Officer Sim falling down the stairs and dying on the spot. But Sul-yeol flipped through the photos of the scene at that time and found that Officer Taek's body was on top of Officer Sim's body. So there was only one explanation. That was that the person who was eliminated first was Officer Sim. The person who was eliminated later was Officer Taek. That was Team Leader Kim lied. Sul-yeol went to the scene at that time and combined the clues. He speculated about the process of the case that happened at that time. Perhaps the matter of Team Leader Kim and the drug dealer Jisoo being involved in a transaction was discovered by Officer Sim. Team Leader Kim immediately killed him to silence him. He threw Officer Sim down the stairs, killing him. Then, Officer Taek ran over and found Team Leader Kim. Team Leader Kim wanted to silence him and killed Officer Taek as well. Then, he shot himself in the arm, creating a scene where Officer Sim attacked his colleague. As for himself, he was seriously injured because he saved his colleague. As soon as he made this deduction, Sul-yeol became confident. He thought that he could use it to overthrow Team Leader Kim. At this time, K appeared again. He said that to overthrow Team Leader Kim, he had to count him in as well. So Sul-yeol and K formed a righteous alliance again. Then they deployed their handshake as a powerful counterattack. Team Leader Kim was a schemer. It was not easy to catch him, but Sul-yeol made a surprising discovery. Last month, Team Leader Kim and his subordinate, Officer Taek, were chasing after drug dealer San-ho. But as a result, Officer Taek and San-ho both fell down the stairs and died on the spot. According to the testimony company of the team leader Kim at that time, San-ho had killed police Taek. While arresting San-ho, he accidentally shot him in the thigh, causing San-ho to fall down the stairs and die on the spot. But Sul-yeol connected the clues and discovered that it was possible that Officer Taek and San-ho were both killed by team leader Kim. The motive for the murder was that they had obtained clues that he was colluding with the drug dealer. Sul-yeol and Kei planned to use it as a turning point to arrest team leader Kim and bring him to justice. At this time, Kei suddenly mentioned something. 2 months ago, Sul-yeol received a phone call from an unknown number. The man on the other end of the line said that Officer Taek was not killed by San-ho. The man also said that he had evidence. Kei's reminder helped Sul-yeol realize that this mysterious man might be the key to solving the case. First, he had to find this person. Sul-yeol and Kei took action. The two went to San-ho's house to look for clues and finally found a rehabilitation center's treatment card. After arriving at the hospital, the nurse told Sul-yeol that San-ho had once brought a drug user named Hyuk-jin here. The two were quite close, and Hyuk-jin often went to a junkyard. Sul-yeol and Kei immediately ran there. This drug user named Hyuk-jin might be the mysterious man who called Sul-yeol. Sure enough, there was something shady about this junkyard. It was full of stoners and drug dealers. In order to sneak in, Sul-yeol even pretended to be a drug addict. Luckily, he passed the test. In the end, he successfully found Hyuk-jin. At Hyuk-jin's place, Sul-yeol indeed got a clue. At that time, San-ho was a drug addict, but thanks to the help of police Taek, San-ho successfully quit drugs. Later, San-ho often helped Hyuk-jin quit drugs. At that time, San-ho wanted to be a good person. He intended to report to the police that team leader Kim was colluding with the drug dealer. In order to protect himself, Hyuk-jin betrayed San-ho. He reported San-ho's accusation to team leader Kim, which led to the assassination of San-ho later. However, Hyuk-jin said that the phone call Sul-yeol received that day was not from him. Sul-yeol still wanted to ask more questions, but at this time Hyuk-jin's spirit could not continue to answer. Sul-yeol could only ask the psychologist doctor to temporarily take care of Hyuk-jin. Hyuk-jin's words proved Sul-yeol's judgment, but at present there was still no evidence to charge team leader Kim. Not only that, team leader Kim was still pressing him step by step. Because Sul-yeol investigated too deeply into the case, team leader Kim decided to teach him a lesson. The person who affected Sul-yeol the most was his ex-girlfriend Hae-gyom. Team leader Kim ordered the drug dealer Ji-soo, who was arrested, to force him to say that Hae-gyom and the drug dealer were on the same side. The charges of murdering Assemblyman Do and colluding with the drug dealer were all placed on her. At the same time, he also ordered the female prisoner who was also imprisoned there to threaten Hae-gyom, slashing her neck. After knowing about this, Sul-yeol rushed to find team leader Kim. He asked team leader Kim why he hurted Hae-gyom. Team leader Kim immediately made it clear that as long as Sul-yeol stopped investigating him, he would spare Hae-gyom. This time, Sul-yeol did not hold back. If anything happened to Hae-gyom, he would not spare team leader Kim. While Sul-yeol was extremely worried about Hae-gyom, Kyung-tae helped him with a big thing. A few days ago, team leader Kim and his subordinate Dong-gu deliberately stuffed a chest of drugs into Hae-gyom's house in order to frame her. Dong-gu also stole several valuable items from Hae-gyom's house, including the gold medal that Hae-gyom won in the sports festival. Kyung-tae guessed that Dong-gu didn't have time to hide the stolen items elsewhere. The only place he could hide them was his car, so Kyung-tae searched for Dong-gu's car. Sure enough, he found Hae-gyom's gold medal. Thus, it could be proven that the person who broke into Hae-gyom's house that day was Dong-gu. It could also be deduced that Dong-gu was the one who hid the chest of drugs in Hae-gyom's house. Thus, Hae-gyom could be cleared of suspicion. A few days later, Hae-gyom was successfully released from prison. Sul-yeol and Kei came to pick her up. During the time Hae-gyom was wrongly imprisoned, Kei even wrote her several sweet love letters. Halfway there, Hae-gyom was still stuck on the case. Sul-yeol couldn't help but reveal that team leader Kim was the mastermind behind it. Team leader Kim, whom Hae-gyom trusted the most, was not only the one who covered up for the drug dealers but also killed the colleague she considered family. That person was Officer Taek. But Hae-gyom didn't believe it because she respected the team leader so much. After taking Hae-gyom home, the psychologist doctor called to inform Sul-yeol that Hyuk-jin had run away. Very soon after, Sul-yeol received a call from Hyuk-jin. Hyuk-jin said that he knew who made the call to report to Sul-yeol. This person would definitely have evidence to prove San-ho's innocence. Hyuk-jin would go confirm with that person first. San-ho had helped Hyuk-jin many times and was grateful to him. Hyuk-jin couldn't let his benefactor be wrongly accused of murder without caring. Sul-yeol was extremely worried. Right now, Hyuk-jin was in great danger, and his opponent might have noticed him. As expected, when Sul-yeol met Hyuk-jin again, he was already a cold corpse. Preliminary investigation showed that Hyuk-jin had left this world. Sul-yeol did not believe this conclusion. Through investigating Hyuk-jin's phone, Sul-yeol found out who Hyuk-jin had had contacted that night. Except for Sul Yol himself, there was only one officer, Chan Ki. Coincidentally, this officer Chan Ki was also a subordinate of team leader Kim. After investigating to this point, Sul Yol could almost be sure that Chan Ki was the mysterious man who had called to report to him last month. Sul Yol looked for Chan Ki. He only said a few sentences, and Chan Ki admitted it was true that he had called to report Sul Yol, but Chan Ki said that Hyuk Jin was not killed by him. Sul Yol forced Chan Ki to make a choice: continue to do bad things to team leader Kim, or give up evil and follow good. Hand over the evidence of Officer Taek being harmed to him. When Chan Ki was at a loss for a choice at this moment, he naturally became the one who controlled the situation. At night, Chan Ki went to a bar to relieve his boredom, where he had memories of him and Officer Taek. Chan Ki and team leader Kim were the same kind of people, but he still had a bit of conscience. Officer Taek, who was killed by team leader Kim before, cared a lot about Chan Ki. Chan Ki remembered the old favor and wanted to tell Sul Yol the whole truth. Unfortunately, at that time, Sul Yol didn't care about him. Chan Ki remembered the kindness that Officer Taek had shown him. In the end, Chan Ki made up his mind to call Sul Yol. As long as Sul Yol was sure that he could catch team leader Kim, Chan Ki would hand over the evidence in his hands to Sul Yol. The two agreed to meet an hour later at the columbarium where Officer Taek's ashes were kept, but Chan Ki didn't expect that someone would notice him. The one who was targeting him was the drug trafficking organization. At the same time Sul Yol was investigating the case, the drug lord also realized that Sul Yol was a threat. To protect her own interests, she ordered her subordinates to secretly follow Sul Yol. The day before, her subordinates discovered that Sul Yol had been in contact with Hyuk Jin. At that time, Hyuk Jin had made an appointment to meet Chan Ki. Chan Ki also wanted to protect himself. Not only did he not hand over the evidence, but also told Hyuk Jin not to come looking for him again. But the drug lord's subordinates were different. In order to prevent Hyuk Jin from causing more trouble, the subordinate killed Hyuk Jin. Not only that, the subordinates also took pictures of Sul Yol coming to find Chan Ki and demanding Chan Ki hand over the evidence. The drug lord immediately called team leader Kim to inform him. Team leader Kim realized that something was wrong. He was forced to destroy the evidence in Chan Ki's hands because it was important evidence that he had killed Officer Taek and San Ho before Sul Yol ran to meet Chan Ki. Team leader Kim arrived first. He forced Chan Ki to hand over the evidence. At first, Chan Ki refused, but in the end, he still could not resist the cruelty of team leader Kim. Finally, he presented the evidence. The evidence was a video. It turned out that when team leader Kim killed Officer Taek and San Ho, Chan Ki was also present at the scene. He even filmed the scene where team leader Kim killed people. This was the decisive evidence. Chan Ki kept begging team leader Kim to spare him this time, but team leader Kim was not someone who could compromise easily. He would not spare Chan Ki no matter what. At the crucial moment, Sul Yol rushed over in time. Alongside him was K, radiating a fierce sense of justice. The two worked together to take down team leader Kim. Sul Yol got the video evidence as desired. When she thought everything was over, team leader Kim still had a treasure. This treasure was Hae Gyeom. A few days ago, Hae Gyeom went to find team leader Kim. It wasn't that she didn't believe what Sul Yol said, it was that she didn't dare to believe it. But there were too many clues forcing her to not believe it. At that time, Hae Gyeom questioned team leader Kim why he did that. Team leader Kim didn't deny it. His answer was also very realistic. It was for money. Very simple. But now Hae Gyeom already knew the truth. Team leader Kim couldn't forgive her. Before going to find Chan Ki, team leader Kim had someone attack Hae Gyeom. At this time, Hae Gyeom was at the scrapyard waiting to be killed. If Sul Yol continued to drag out time with him, Hae Gyeom would die. When Sul Yol was hesitating, Chan Ki suddenly attacked him from behind. If Sul Yol couldn't bring team leader Kim to justice, then why did he get involved? Sul Yol was injured. Team leader Kim took the opportunity to smash the phone. The only evidence was destroyed right before his eyes. Sul Yol quickly regained consciousness and ran to the junkyard. He had to go save the woman he loved. At this time, Hae Gyeom was being held in a truck. The truck was filled with smoke. Hae Gyeom was unconscious. Sul Yol rushed to save Hae Gyeom, but unexpectedly, he was held back in the truck. Smoke filled the cabin. Sul Yol gradually couldn't hold on any longer. At the crucial moment, K appeared like a hero. He kicked the car door hard, determined to save the woman he loved no matter what. Sul Yol also gradually regained consciousness. For Hae Gyeom's sake, he and K worked together again, desperately banging on the door. Halfway through, Hae Gyeom also woke up. The three of them worked together to escape. Finally, the vehicle compartment was pushed out and they were finally saved. Not only that, Sul Yol also forced the drug dealer to ask where the truck was headed. Just then, Sul Yol's colleague and Kyung Tae followed the clues and found the truck, so they joined forces to capture all the drug dealers. Sitting with his colleague, Sul Yol resolutely shared all the information he had about the drug dealers. With the help of his colleague, the situation would probably be much better. But for now, the evidence that team leader Kim had killed someone had been destroyed. The drug dealer was nowhere to be found. Where should one start to destroy such a large drug trafficking organization? At this moment, Tae-gyeom thought of something. A few days ago, she had obtained a clue through spies. The drugs that this drug trafficking organization was selling were imported from Russia. Currently, the amount circulating in Korea was not much. The only place where this type of drug was circulating in Korea was the area that Assemblyman Do used to manage. Before Assemblyman Do was arrested, he had held a budget establishment ceremony with several young men. A man was photographed during the ceremony, the one who appeared next to Assemblyman Do before he was arrested. This person's name was Andre. It seemed that this person was very likely related to the drug trafficking organization. Sul-yeol and Hee-gyeom speculated that Andre was likely a high-ranking member of the drug trafficking organization and was also a collaborator of team leader Kim and the drug trafficking organization. Right now, they had to find Andre. He was the only breakthrough to destroy the drug trafficking organization. According to Hae-gyeom's investigation, Andre had appeared in a certain place many times, so Sul-yeol immediately took action. Coincidentally, on the way, Sul-yeol met Andre's subordinates. He had seen this person before he arrested Assemblyman Do. Sul-yeol followed his subordinates to a warehouse. He saw a group of people moving something into a truck. Andre was among them. At this time, Kay appeared again. In order to avoid being detected, Kay pulled Sul-yeol and hid in the truck. Sul-yeol was going crazy. He had just survived the truck and now he was hiding here again. But the truth proved that Kay was not wrong this time, because every single chest in the truck compartment contained the latest drugs. Sul-yeol realized that this warehouse was the gathering point for drug dealers to move drugs. Sul-yeol immediately contacted his colleagues. His colleagues took advantage of the dark to run to the warehouse to arrest people. The drug dealers were unprepared. They were all caught in a panic, including Andre, who was still resisting. All the drugs in the warehouse were confiscated. As soon as he captured Andre, Sul-yeol immediately started interrogating him. He wanted Andre to reveal the organization's top boss, but Andre was stubborn. He refused to reveal anything. Sul-yeol's investigation was at a standstill. At this moment, team leader Kim arrived. There was no evidence of him killing anyone. Team leader Kim had been in and out of the police station without any incident. He even openly took Andre away. He said that this person was a suspect that their drug screening team had been following closely. Sul-yeol was extremely angry. Team leader Kim was clearly protecting Andre, but team leader Kim was not afraid at all. Sul-yeol had no evidence in his hands, but in reality, team leader Kim himself was not at peace either. He was tormented by Sul-yeol. The drug trafficking organization not only lost a group of subordinates, but also lost a lot of drugs. So, the drug lord went to find team leader Kim to force him to compensate her for the loss. Team leader Kim understood what the drug lord meant. Obviously, she wanted to force him to steal the drugs that the police had kept. Team leader Kim was not satisfied, but things had come to this point. He could only continue. At night, team leader Kim and Chan-ki secretly drove to the warehouse that the police had confiscated. Hye-gyeom discovered their actions. She was quietly following them. Team leader Kim quickly finished the job. He stole all the drugs that were confiscated in the warehouse. When he was about to leave, Hye-gyeom appeared. Hye-gyeom pointed a gun and ordered team leader Kim to surrender, but team leader Kim took the gun and aimed it at Chan-ki. Now it was just a matter of seeing who was faster between him and Hye-gyeom. Faced with Chan-ki's life and death, Hye-gyeom did not dare to pull the trigger. Team leader Kim ran away in time. Luckily, when Hye-gyeom took action, she informed Sul-yeol. Sul-yeol started chasing team leader Kim. Team leader Kim knew that a big disaster was coming. Now he could only run away first. He contacted the drug lord and asked her to prepare cash and a passport for him. Otherwise, she would never get a single package of drugs. Very quickly, the drug lord ordered his subordinates to bring cash and passport to the location. Team leader Kim specified that was the abandoned building where team leader Kim had killed his colleague, which was also the place where everything started. Team leader Kim wanted to deliver the goods with one hand and the money with the other, but the drug lord ordered his subordinates to eliminate team leader Kim. She did not trust this greedy man at all. For now, team leader Kim could hardly protect himself, so she quickly resolved this problem, but she had underestimated team leader Kim too much. Team leader Kim saw that the other party wanted to kill him. He burned all the drugs that needed to be delivered. At this moment, Sul-yeol chased after him. Team leader Kim could only run into the building. Sul-yeol chased after him closely. Team leader Kim did not hesitate to shoot. He thought he had escaped Sul-yeol. Unexpectedly, Sul-yeol had already put on a bulletproof vest. Now it was Sul-yeol's turn to fight back. Sul-yeol used only a few moves to knock down team leader Kim. Hye-gyeom also quickly ran over. At that moment, Hye-gyeom did not hesitate at all. She aimed her gun straight at team leader Kim. Team leader Kim was hit by the bullet and was about to fall down the stairs. But at this moment, he was still holding on to the bag of cash cash. Sul-yeol and Hye-gyeom pulled team leader Kim back. The bag of cash in team leader Kim's hand was also scattered everywhere. At this moment, his eyes held nothing but despair. He had exhausted all his efforts to fall this far, all for things that were never within his reach. Just like that, team leader Kim was captured. At this moment, Kay appeared. Sul-yeol shouted urgently, asking where Kay had gone. Why didn't he come out to help Sul-yeol? Kay told Sul-yeol that he had always been here. It was just that now, Sul-yeol was already very talented. Indeed, after so many things, Sul-yeol had changed. He no longer sought fame and fortune. He no longer indulged himself. Instead, he embraced passion and justice. Wasn't he Kay? Sul-yeol pondered. He turned around and saw Hye-gyeom sobbing alone. Although team leader Kim had committed a crime, he was also the superior she respected the most. Now, she had personally arrested team leader Kim. Hye-gyeom felt extremely uncomfortable. Sul-yeol hugged Hye-gyeom. He quietly comforted the girl he loved. At night, Sul-yeol took Hye-gyeom home. Hye-gyeom could also see that Sul-yeol had changed these past few days. Sul-yeol, whom she once truly loved, seemed to have returned. Hye-gyeom used the excuse that Sul-yeol was injured. She wanted to bandage his wound, so she invited him in to sit. 2 years had passed since breaking up with Hye-gyeom. This was the first time Sul-yeol had entered her house. Even though 2 years had passed, Sul-yeol was still very familiar with this place. Sul-yeol remembered everything where it was placed. Hye-gyeom took out the medicine box. It was full of the medicine that Sul-yeol had given her before. There were sticky notes on each medicine box. Written were Sul-yeol's concerns for Hye-gyeom. The items and the environment were familiar. Sul-yeol and Hye-gyeom lost control and rushed into a kiss. They couldn't deny it anymore. In fact, they had always loved each other deeply. Their love began to grow like before. The investigation of the case seemed to be progressing well. There was Chan Ki's testimony. Finally, team leader Kim's crimes were confirmed, including the crime of him killing his colleague, along with colluding with a drug trafficking organization. The investigation up to this point was considered a huge breakthrough. At this time, the superior suddenly ordered Sul-yeol to go for a checkup. It was about the previous case of him being forced to inject drugs. Although there was evidence that could prove that he was forced at that time, it still needed to be confirmed whether his current state could work normally. The person responsible for checking Sul-yeol was a psychologist. It was said that this psychologist worked at a youth center, specializing in psychological counseling for runaway teenagers. At this time, Kay appeared. Kay reminded Sul-yeol that the money Hila had accidentally donated before was donated to this youth center. Maybe there would be some connection. Therefore, Sul-yeol went to find this psychologist. Kay was also always by Sul-yeol's side. During the psychotherapy, Sul-yeol kept looking at Kay. This small action was caught by the psychologist. It seemed that the psychologist had exposed Sul-yeol's thoughts at first glance. The doctor also said that he wanted to talk about his childhood memories. Sul-yeol was also very curious. The psychologist had previously said that the appearance of Kay's personality was probably related to Sul-yeol's childhood trauma. After being treated by the psychologist, Sul-yeol's childhood memories gradually awakened. In his dreams, pieces of his childhood memories were put together. It turned out that Sul-yeol had often been beaten by his father when he was young. One time, he couldn't take it anymore and ran away from home. And right after that, his father suddenly passed away. It was just that for some unknown reason, a piece of Sul-yeol's memory was missing. That was half a year before he ran away from home. The memories of those years seemed to have been taken away. Intuition told Sul-yeol that something had happened during that half year. Perhaps it could explain his multiple personality disorder. Sul-yeol was eager to get an explanation. Kay suddenly appeared in his dream again, but before Sul-yeol could understand what was going on, he was woken up by the psychologist. Doctor, Kay's sudden appearance made Sul-yeol realize that he must be related to his childhood trauma. Perhaps Kay was the key to unlocking the puzzle. But even the psychologist doctor couldn't understand this. Sul-yeol was very crazy. He wanted to know what had happened in the past. He wanted to know who he really was. The profound philosophical problem still had no answer when a strange case occurred. One sunny day, a girl wearing a raincoat covered in blood, her face filled with panic, walked into the police station and said that she had killed her biological father. After saying that, the girl fainted. A packet of drugs had fallen from her. There was also a drawing of an eye on the packet. It was a newly researched drug from a newly emerged organization. The drug that Assemblyman Du and team leader Kim had previously helped this organization circulate was this drug, because team leader Kim of the drug investigation team had been arrested by Sul-yeol. His superiors ordered Sul-yeol to take over the investigation and completely destroy this eye drug trafficking organization. Coincidentally, the girl who killed her father was related to this drug. Sul-yeol keenly realized that this case might be the entrance to investigate this mysterious organization. According to the investigation, this girl's name was Young-ju. The father she had killed was a retired officer. Coincidentally, this Officer Baek had a relationship with Sul-yeol. That year, Officer Baek was involved in a bribery case. The person in charge of investigating the case was Sul-yeol, and the person who handed over the evidence of Officer Baek accepting bribes to Sul-yeol was his daughter, Young-ju. Because Officer Baek had a tendency to torment his daughter, Young-ju couldn't take it anymore and chose to kill her father. Unfortunately that year, Sul-yeol didn't pay much attention to this case, only causing Officer Baek to be fired. After Officer Baek returned home, he treated his daughter severely. Because of this bastard father, Young-ju's life was no different from hell. Sul-yeol blamed himself a little. That year, if it weren't for him, Officer Baek would have been sentenced to prison. Young-ju wouldn't have encountered this either. Out of shame, Sul-yeol paid special attention to this case. Coincidentally, Hae-gyum was also temporarily assigned to Sul-yeol's anti-corruption team. Hae-gyum interrogated Young-ju. According to the test, Young-ju had inhaled drugs. Hae-gyum wanted to know where Young-ju had bought these drugs, but no matter what was asked, Young-ju acted as if she knew nothing. At the same time, Kyung-tae discovered an important clue. Before Young-ju killed her father, she had gone to a place dozens of kilometers away to buy a raincoat. Moreover, it seemed like she had intentionally left her bank card information behind, as if she was afraid that others would not know that she had done it. There was something even more difficult to explain. Kyung-tae found a video on Young-ju's computer. It was a video of Young-ju murdering her father. Hae-gyum judged that it was possible that Young-ju wanted to send the video to someone else, so she filmed it. In other words, there was a possibility that there was an accomplice behind Young-ju's murder. This person was most likely the one behind the instructions. Who knows, this person might have given the eye drug, but the problem was that Young-ju was using a dark website, so it was temporarily impossible to analyze the IP address of the person who sent it. Sul-yeol thought of a trick. He went to find the psychologist doctor who had hypnotized him before, showed him the video of Young-ju killing someone, hoping that the doctor could analyze this matter from a psychological perspective. Sure enough, the doctor had a guess. After watching the video, the doctor said one word: emotional manipulation. To put it more specifically, children who had been abused at a young age and grew up in an environment lacking in affection, their minds were the most changeable. If someone had the intention of manipulating them, these children would completely lose their ability to judge. In addition to the other party wanting to do what they wanted, they would then become puppets that were manipulated. Therefore, the first thing they had to do was find the person that Young-ju relied on the most. This person was very likely the mastermind behind it. Therefore, Sul-yeol went to find Young-ju's friend. Kay also followed. Compared to Sul-yeol, Kay's curiosity was stronger. From this female friend, Sul-yeol got an important clue. It turned out that Young-ju had been to the youth center before. The homeroom teacher had taken her there. Sul-yeol immediately called the homeroom teacher to find out the situation. The homeroom teacher said that she had brought Young-ju to the center to see a psychologist doctor. Young-ju's psychologist doctor was surnamed Shin. As soon as he heard this name, Sul-yeol realized something. A few days ago, his superior ordered him to go to the center to see a counselor. The purpose was to check if he could still work after being injected with drugs, and the person in charge of Sul-yeol's psychological diagnosis at the center was Dr. Shin. At that time, Sul-yeol felt that this doctor was very sharp. It seemed that he could see through Sul-yeol. The homeroom teacher also said that Young-ju relied on Dr. Shin a lot. Sometimes she even came to see him herself. Just at this moment, Kyung-tae discovered an important clue. On the day of the incident, before Young-ju went to buy a raincoat, she went to a coffee shop to meet someone, and this person was also Dr. Shin. What's more coincidental is that Hae-gyum also found out the day before Young-ju had intended to leave this world in the hospital, and the person who visited her before was also Dr. Shin. Too many coincidences linked together, all pointing to Dr. Shin. After investigating this far, Sul-yeol could almost confirm that Dr. Shin took advantage of Young-ju's trust and reliance to manipulate her feelings, tease her, and hold Young-ju and everyone in his hands. But things went beyond Sul-yeol's expectations. He went to the youth center. After a while of questioning, Dr. Shin's expression changed. Being forced by Sul-yeol to confess, Dr. Shin immediately showed him a video. Dr. Shin had a habit of recording the diagnosis process. That day he had actually met Young-ju at the coffee shop, but they only talked about normal psychological problems. Moreover, Young-ju refused to let him help. Now it was Sul-yeol's turn to be stunned. At this time, the investigation of the case was at a standstill. Sul-yeol could only go to Young-ju again, hoping to find evidence of Dr. Shin's crime. But Young-ju was still the same. His spirit was down, and he didn't know anything. When asked, his colleagues continued to investigate and found that Dr. Shin was not suspicious at all. all, he had no history of drug use. Moreover, he had proactively sent many files related to the case, wanting to help the police investigate. His colleagues unanimously believed that such a person was unlikely to be the mastermind. But Sul-yeol still had doubts about Dr. Shin. Sul-yeol had worked so hard to investigate this case. Besides being ashamed of Youngju, there was something more important. Like Youngju, Sul-yeol had also suffered domestic violence. It seemed that Dr. Shin could see his childhood trauma at first sight. Compared to a psychologist, Dr. Shin was more like a hunter waiting for his prey. Or perhaps, his childhood trauma was related to this case. Sul-yeol went to the house he lived in as a child. This old house had turned into ruins. Arriving at a familiar place, the memories in Sul-yeol's mind seemed to gradually awaken. He saw himself being beaten by his father when he was a child, and himself, with all those wounds all over his body, seemed to be standing right in front of him. Sul-yeol wanted to chase after him, but suddenly, a headache struck. Soon after, Sul-yeol appeared in that familiar hallway. The room at the end of the hallway attracted Sul-yeol inexplicably. Sul-yeol vaguely realized that there must be some secret hidden there. He wanted to open the door, but Kay appeared again and tried to stop him. Sul-yeol opened the door regardless. There was a bright light outside the door. In a blink of an eye, the bright light dissipated. Sul-yeol appeared on a country road again, and Kay also disappeared. Puzzle grew bigger and bigger. At this moment, Youngju escaped from the hospital. Sul-yeol called Dr. Shin. Dr. Shin had a unique perspective on this case. He thought the person manipulating Youngju's feelings might be playing a game. This person intentionally asked Youngju to kill someone and film the video, then revealed the video. Actually, he wanted to convey some information. Sul-yeol wanted to ask more, but Dr. Shin's groans came from the other end of the line. Sul-yeol felt that something was wrong. He immediately ran to the center. At this time, Dr. Shin was hospitalized. The person who attacked him was Youngju. On Dr. Shin's computer, Sul-yeol found a location sign. That place happened to be his old house. Sul-yeol immediately ran to his old house. As expected, Youngju was there. It seemed like she was waiting for him to come. Sul-yeol wanted to ask Youngju what was going on, but Youngju seemed to be under someone's control. She mumbled and asked Sul-yeol what day it was today. Sul-yeol answered the month and date. Youngju said in a daze that it was time. Then she used a scalpel to leave this world. Youngju's death made the investigation of the case even more difficult. Fortunately, Dr. Shin had been discharged from the hospital. Up until now, Sul-yeol had understood. The series of events that had happened were all planned by someone, and these events were all related to him. It was as if someone had arranged the chessboard. Officer Bae and Youngju were just pawns being used, and the ultimate target of this mastermind was Sul-yeol. He wanted Sul-yeol to fall into the trap himself. Dr. Shin saw that and agreed to help. The next day, Kyung-tae found Youngju's dark web account and password. Sul-yeol logged into the account, and someone immediately sent him a message. The other person said that he would meet Sul-yeol soon. The other person even said Sul-yeol's old name was Jae-hui. Sul-yeol knew that this person was the mastermind behind it. Jae-hui was his name before he was adopted by his adoptive mother. On the day he was discovered and brought back by his adoptive mother, Sul-yeol had just run away from home. At that time, he was covered in blood. Coincidentally, Sul-yeol's father also died in a fire. However, no matter how he tried, Sul-yeol couldn't remember that memory. Sul-yeol had an unbearable headache. The memory fragments in his head were awakened again. That familiar hallway appeared in his memory again. The room with the number 1002 engraved at the end of the hallway. Sul-yeol suddenly remembered the girl who was emotionally manipulated and left this world. Before she died, Youngju mentioned October 2nd. That said, the room number was probably this month and date. Pushing open the door, Sul-yeol saw a young man wearing a yellow raincoat standing next to his father's body. There was also a knife on the ground. Looking closely, this young man with a face covered in blood was him when he was young. Sul-yeol panicked. Could it be that he had killed his father? Because of this, Sul-yeol went to look for newspaper articles from that year. According to the articles, his father had not died in the fire that year, but had been murdered before the fire. Sul-yeol looked for his adoptive mother to find out the situation, but his adoptive mother did not know much. That year, Sul-yeol had been still a young man in his early 10s. When his adoptive mother discovered him, he was covered in blood, as if he had gone through something terrible. All his previous memories were gone. The only thing he remembered was his name. It was also that day Sul-yeol's father was found dead in his house, but Sul-yeol knew nothing about it. His adoptive mother's memories could not help Sul-yeol find out the truth of that year. At this time, Kay had arrived. Sul-yeol was furious as soon as he saw Kay. Last time in his subconscious dream, he wanted to open the door that hid that secret. Kay insisted on stopping him. His intuition told him that Kay must have known something. Sul-yeol frantically pressed Kay for a confession. Finally, Kay agreed to tell him. Turned out that it was just like what Sul-yeol said. Kay was also worried that he had killed his father. When Sul-yeol heard that, he immediately ran to find the psychologist doctor. He also mentioned something. The date he saw in the subconscious hallway was October 2nd, but his father did not die on that day. So what did that date mean? The doctor told him that Sul-yeol's subconscious was preserving selective memories, even distorting the truth that happened in the past. Therefore, what he saw in his subconscious was not necessarily the truth. In other words, Sul-yeol was not necessarily a murderer, but the doctor continued to say that Sul-yeol's subconscious was distorting the truth of past because it wanted to hide an even more terrifying truth. At this moment, Sul-yeol was truly confused. To clarify his past, Sul-yeol started to review his father's case file from that year. There was only one clue in front of him. That was October 2nd. Very quickly, Sul-yeol discovered the clue. On October 2nd, 20 years ago, a drug dealer named Kang Jae had been murdered. Coincidentally, this person lived near his childhood home. 20 years ago, Kang Jae had been murdered. The first person to be suspected was his son, but not long after, the police had arrested another suspect, Bok Joon, because they found a bloody knife in his house, along with a bloody yellow raincoat. At first, Bok Joon tried to deny it. He said he had never seen the murder weapon or the raincoat, but then he stopped trying to justify himself. Sul-yeol hurriedly went to find Bok Joon, who had been released from prison. Bok Joon still remembered the crime that year, but Sul-yeol kept feeling that something was wrong. He felt that Bok Joon's recalling of the crime was like reading a testimony. Could it be that someone was behind the scenes manipulating the case? Before Sul-yeol could understand anything, K rode his bike over. He said he wanted to help Sul-yeol remember the past. K rode his bike and took Sul-yeol to a rural area. It was close to Sul-yeol's previous home. As a result, K drove his bike straight into the lake. Both of them fell into the water. But strangely, Sul-yeol seemed very familiar with this lake, as if he had fallen into it before. At the same time, Hee-gyum was also helping Sul-yeol investigate. She went to Bok Joon's previous lawyer. The lawyer recalled something strange. That year, after Bok Joon had gone to prison, he had received quite a few letters, and all of them had been written by one person. Hee-gyum informed Sul-yeol about this. Sul-yeol and K went to Bok Joon's house to investigate. They found that the letters were just like what Sul-yeol thought. In the letters, someone repeatedly psychologically suggested to Bok Joon, wanting him to take the blame for the murder. The person who wrote the letters was Jun-ho, the son of the drug dealer who was murdered. In that case, Bok Joon was not the murderer at all. So someone took advantage of the time when he was smoking drugs and his mind was not clear and forged a false memory of the murder for him. Even so, Bok Joon still insisted that he had killed someone. In his excitement, he even pushed Sul-yeol into a bucket of water. The moment his head was submerged in water, Sul-yeol's subconscious was awakened. 20 years ago, Sul-yeol had been tormented by his father and had wanted to jump into the lake to leave this world. But he happened to meet a boy who was a few years older than him, and this boy was Jun-ho. Like Sul-yeol, Jun-ho was also often beaten by his father. The two boys shared the same fate and sympathized with each other. Hearing Jun-ho's suggestion, Sul-yeol and he entered the youth center together. Remembering this, combined with the previous clues, Sul-yeol suddenly understood something. Could the mastermind behind the dark web, manipulating the psychology of abused children, be Jun-ho? Sul-yeol logged into the dark web and finally confirmed his guess. The other party admitted that he was Jun-ho. Not only that, Jun-ho also told Sul-yeol that their relationship was very special. These words caused Sul-yeol to fall into crisis. At night, the K personality took over Sul-yeol's body. He went to see a psychologist. K wanted to know if the memory of meeting Jun-ho was something he had imagined. The GAP psychologist said that memories can change, but the feeling at that time was not fake. K said frankly that he only had one feeling when he recalled that memory, which was wanting to kill someone. During the day, K disappeared and Sul-yeol returned. Sul-yeol went to find Dr. Shin at the center, wanting to see the file he had when he moved in. There were quite a few photos of him and Jun-ho together in the file. It seemed that their relationship was very good that year. Looking at the background photo of one of those photos, Sul-yeol went to the roof of the center. There, Sul-yeol encountered a girl who was about to jump off the building and leave this world. After being stopped by Sul-yeol, the girl hurriedly left. At this time, Sul-yeol still did not realize that this girl was very important to the investigation of case. At the same time, Kyung-tae was also investigating another case. A few days ago, Dr. Shin of the youth center was almost murdered. The murderer was Young-ju, who had been emotionally manipulated before. The witness to this scene was a young man named Jong-hyun. Kyung-tae went to find Jong-hyun to check on him. But while talking, Kyung-tae discovered that Jong-hyun had quite a few bruises on his body. But no matter how he asked, Jong-hyun resolutely refused to say anything. A few days later, Kyung-tae and the district government went to Jong-hyun's house. The district government said that Jong-hyun's parents had both passed away. Jong-hyun was living with his older brother who had a dirty background. The bruises bruises on Jung Hyun's body might have been caused by his older brother. Kyung Tae felt that Jung Hyun was very pitiful. As a result, when he opened the door, he discovered that Jung Hyun's older brother had already died. Jung Hyun sat opposite, staring blankly at his older brother. The case of Jung Hyun's older brother being murdered was investigated by Sul Yeol. Sul Yeol was sensitive to the fact that this case was not simple at all. Jung Hyun had also lived in a youth center and had also suffered domestic violence. But no matter how Sul Yeol asked, Jung Hyun refused to provide any important information. Not only that, Kyung Tae also found Jung Hyun's alibi. When the crime happened, Jung Hyun was stealing money from the store where he worked, and it was caught on camera. That said, there was no way he could be the culprit. Regarding this, Jung Hyun only said that hell was over. Sul Yeol immediately clung to this sentence, because whether it was Young Ju who had left this world before, or Junho in his memory, they had all said this sentence. Could it be that these cases were somehow connected? If Junho knew that he had lost his childhood memories, he took the opportunity to manipulate his emotions. He created fake memories, making Sul Yeol suspect that he had killed his father, which was Swol. Very quickly, Sul Yeol discovered an important clue in the camera near Jung Hyun's house. A girl appeared on the camera, and this girl was the girl Sul Yeol had seen on the rooftop of the youth center a few days ago. According to the time displayed on the camera, the time the girl appeared was just when Jung Hyun's brother was murdered. Was it really such a coincidence? Through investigation, it was discovered that the girl's name was So Yeon, a university student who often went to the center to volunteer. Sul Yeol went to the rooftop of the center again. As a result, he discovered that at that time, So Yeon did not want to jump off the building and leave this world, but looked down. Following So Yeon's line of sight, Sul Yeol discovered an underground water well on the grass. Opening the well cover, he discovered a yellow raincoat and a bloody hammer inside. Rearranging the current clues, Sul Yeol made a judgment. The person who had attacked Jung Hyun's brother was So Yeon. These were the murder weapons. First, they had to find So Yeon, but when they finally found So Yeon, she was severely injured. Luckily, they discovered her early. She was taken to the hospital and was undergoing surgery. According to the investigating colleagues, there were currently no clues to prove that So Yeon and Jung Hyun know each other. If that's the case, then why did So Yeon attack Jung Hyun's brother? When Sul Yeol's head was about to explode, Kyung Tae made a huge discovery. So Yeon had an ex-boyfriend named Song Won. Song Won often acted violently towards So Yeon. This time, she was probably injured by him. In addition, by following Jung Hyun, Kyung Tae discovered that wherever Jung Hyun went, Song Won was there. Sul Yeol understood Jung Hyun had been following Song Won. Thus, Young Hyun and his brother So Yeon and her ex-boyfriend Song Won, the four of them had formed a connection. Sul Yeol came to a conclusion. Jung Hyun and So Yeon were exchanging murders. So Yeon had helped Jung Hyun eliminate his brother. Jung Hyun helped So Yeon kill his ex-boyfriend. Thus, Song Won was currently in danger. As expected, it was not beyond Sul Yeol's expectations. When he found Song Won, Jung Hyun was preparing to strike. Fortunately, Sul Yeol arrived in time and successfully protected Song Won. While he was arguing with Jung Hyun, looking into Jung Hyun's eyes, Sul Yeol's subconscious became clearer and clearer. The door at the end of the hallway was pushed open. A person wearing a yellow raincoat stabbed Sul Yeol's father in the stomach. That person turned around. It was Junho. It turned out that he was the real culprit. At this moment, Kay appeared. He looked quite strange at this moment. His face was covered in blood, and he was holding a knife in his hand, saying that he had killed someone. Hearing Kay's reminder, Sul Yeol's memories gradually became clearer. Many years ago, just like Sul Yeol, Junho suffered domestic violence. After a chance encounter, Junho had taken Sul Yeol to a temporary youth center. During that time, Junho had proposed to Sul Yeol to exchange killings. He would go kill Sul Yeol's father, and Sul Yeol would go get rid of Junho's father. Sul Yeol didn't dare believe that this memory was real, but Kay said that memories could be fate, but emotions couldn't. Sul Yeol's emotions at that time were anger to the point of wanting to kill someone. Sul Yeol couldn't accept it. Kay kept apologizing to him. It was him who had implicated Sul Yeol. Sul Yeol still wanted to struggle, but Kay left. Since leaving, Kay never returned. Sul Yeol went to see the psychologist doctor. He always couldn't believe that Kay, who wanted to save the world with all his heart, was the one who killed his father. But the psychologist doctor said that the only person Kay wanted to save was Sul Yeol, because Kay was a second personality created by Sul Yeol's sense of self-protection. When he was young, it was very likely that Kay would kill someone to protect Sul Yeol. But thinking back, Sul Yeol felt that it wasn't quite right. What if everything was Junho's scheme? Very possible. Sul Yeol decided to investigate truth clearly. clearly. The breakthrough point for the investigation was still Jong Hyun. Before the investigation, Sul-yeol discovered that Jong Hyun was one of the people who had been emotionally manipulated. Jong Hyun had once exchanged killings with a girl named So-yeon. So-yeon had helped Jong Hyun kill his older brother. Jong Hyun had also killed So-yeon's ex-boyfriend, but that time was ruined by Sul-yeol. Now he had to find Jong Hyun. First, to have a breakthrough, Sul-yeol went to Jong Hyun's house. As a result, he couldn't find Jong Hyun, but instead he caught a few foreign border crossers. One of them was a Southeast Asian gangster who was involved in a drug trafficking organization a few months ago. Sul-yeol caught all of these border crossers. Next, Sul-yeol went to the restaurant where Jong Hyun used to work. Sure enough, Jong Hyun was hiding there. Sul-yeol wanted to convince Jong Hyun to tell the truth because, like Jong Hyun, Sul-yeol also had a similar past. This time, he wanted to protect Jong Hyun. Sul-yeol's sincerity seemed to have touched Jong Hyun. He was about to tell the truth, but at this moment, the restaurant's phone rang. It was Junho calling. As usual, he smiled evilly, saying some unclear words. Sul-yeol guessed that Junho was probably nearby, so he ran out to look for him. Unfortunately, he couldn't find Junho. After Sul-yeol returned, Jong Hyun had disappeared. Sul-yeol went to look for the owner of the restaurant where Jong Hyun worked and got some important news. So-yeon's ex-boyfriend, because of his violent behavior towards his girlfriend, was imprisoned for a few days, then released. After leaving the prison, Song-won wanted to find the person who wanted to kill him, Jong Hyun. Last night, people who escaped into Jong Hyun's house were sent by Song-won. Sul-yeol used this as an excuse to request an arrest warrant for Song-won. Kyung-tae was responsible for arresting Song-won, but he managed to escape in time. The camera shows that after Song-won ran away, Jong Hyun found him. Jong Hyun knocked him out and took him away. The destination was near the hospital where So-yeon was. Sul-yeol immediately had a bad feeling. Jong Hyun would definitely kill Song-won to fulfill the murder exchange agreement. Fortunately, Sul-yeol found Jong Hyun on the hospital rooftop. At this time, Jong Hyun was attacking Song-won. Sul-yeol wanted to stop him, but Jong Hyun said it was too late. It turned out that Jong Hyun had contacted Junho through the dark web. At that time, because of Sul-yeol's advice, Jong Hyun had the idea of retreating, but Junho threatened So-yeon's life, forcing Jong Hyun to attack Song-won. Jong Hyun cried and told Sul-yeol everything. He also said that person had been following him. Sul-yeol looked up. Sure enough, there was someone on the rooftop of the building across the street. Sul-yeol knew that person was Junho. Just in time, Kyung-tae ran over. Sul-yeol immediately ordered Kyung-tae to protect Jong Hyun while he went to catch Junho. Although he caught up, Sul-yeol was knocked to the ground by Junho. The scene of being beaten brought Sul-yeol's memories back to his youth. At that time, Junho wanted to kill Sul-yeol's father. Sul-yeol wanted to stop him but was beaten by Junho. Junho reminded Sul-yeol that it was Sul-yeol who killed his father. According to the rules of exchanging killings, it was his turn now. The memories of the past gradually overlapped with the reality before his eyes. At this moment, Sul-yeol was being beaten mercilessly by Junho. Suddenly, the door of his subconscious opened. A person walked in. It was Kay. Kay had returned. It turned out that Kay had not forgotten his oath to protect Sul-yeol. Facing the young Sul-yeol, who was beaten by Junho, Kay appeared in time and beat Junho up. Kay's return gave the weak Sul-yeol the courage to stand up. Kay scolded Junho as just a devil manipulating others. Kay's righteous words made Sul-yeol completely believe this. Junho's father was definitely not killed by Kay. Kay appeared in time and used a few moves to defeat Junho. But when Sul-yeol removed Junho's mask, he discovered that this person was Bok Jun. At this time, Sul-yeol's phone rang. The person on the other end was Junho. On the phone, Junho smiled evilly, and he himself was standing nearby and witnessed everything. Through observation, he already knew that Sul-yeol had multiple personalities. At this time, Sul-yeol realized that he had been tricked. Now he had to find out Junho's whereabouts and true identity. There was still only one clue, which was Jong Hyun. Kyung-tae took Jong Hyun to the police station, but Jong Hyun remained silent from beginning to end. Sul-yeol then took Jong Hyun back to his home. His adoptive mother made a table of food for Jong Hyun. Seeing Sul-yeol warmly with his adoptive mother and older brother, Jong Hyun was a little moved. He had hoped to have such a home. Sul-yeol told Jong Hyun that thanks to his adoptive mother and brother keeping him, he had the home he had today. So there were still many good people in this world. The warm meal and Sul-yeol's words gradually warmed Jong Hyun's heart. At the same time, Hye-gyum was investigating the drug trafficking organization. Neither she nor Sul-yeol expected that this organization would soon have contact with Junho. Because of the previous murder case, the drug trafficking organization was in trouble. The drug lord planned to clean up the drug warehouse and then leave Korea. However, the wholesale customer had the wrong timing and paid too low a price. The drug lord was uncomfortable, so she ordered her subordinates to eliminate the customer. Hye-gyum was interested in this case. According According to the witness's testimony, the murderer was the organization's henchman named Andre. To investigate the case, Hee-gyum found a spy. According to the spy's clues, Hee-gyum found out the identity of the organization's drug lord and also found a factory that produced eye drugs. The organization's drug lord was inside. At this moment, the drug lord was calling Andre. A few days ago, a girl named Bae somehow had obtained a quantity of their drugs and then had murdered her father. The drug lord became suspicious. At that time, the organization was being pursued by the police. Logically speaking, many people would not choose to buy their products in the short term to avoid disaster, but this girl named Bae insisted on doing so. Furthermore, according to the investigation, the drugs that the girl took were not bought by herself. The drug lord suspected that someone wanted to raise the price, so he came up with this plan. Before leaving, she had to find this person very quickly. Andre went to Bok-jun. After being forced to confess, Bok-jun confessed he had bought their drugs with the purpose of luring Sul-yeol into a trap. Andre also wanted to ask the mastermind behind it, but at this moment he was attacked. In the dark, he could not see the person's face, but he could be sure that this person was the mastermind behind it. The mastermind did not say a word and killed Andre. Even Bok-jun, who was his man, was also taken care of by him. At the same time, Hyeom broke the door and entered. She wanted to capture the drug lord of the organization. Unfortunately, after a while of fighting, Hye-gyum let her escape. After the drug lord ran away, Hye-gyum and Sul-yeol ran to the scene where Andre and Bok-jun were killed. Hye-gyum remembered something the drug lord said during the fight. At that time, the drug lord asked Hye-gyum who the mastermind the police were always chasing was. Sul-yeol understood something. They were chasing Junho, and the drug lord also wanted to find this person. But what was the relationship between Junho and the drug gang? The puzzle grew bigger and bigger. Sul-yeol was aware of this terrifying IQ-wearing game. Junho was very interested and immersed in it. With no other choice, Sul-yeol went to the youth center to find Dr. Shin. Sul-yeol told Dr. Shin about his multiple personality disorder, hoping that he could help. Dr. Shin agreed to help, but in fact, this was Sul-yeol's plan. It turned out that yesterday, Sul-yeol had brought food made by his adoptive mother to find Jung-hyun. Finally, Jung-hyun revealed Junho's true identity. A few days ago, Jung-hyun had gone to the youth center. Coincidentally, he saw the girl who was being manipulated by Baek crying. Perhaps she was being psychologically manipulated by someone, and the person standing in front of her at that time was Dr. Shin. Sul-yeol understood Dr. Shin was Junho, but the problem was that based on Jung-hyun's words alone, he couldn't accuse Dr. Shin. Sul-yeol was determined. He had to defeat this devil with K. Sul-yeol pretended to go to the youth center, asking for advice on multiple personalities. During the consultation, Dr. Shin asked to talk to K. Sul-yeol agreed. When facing K, Dr. Shin was quite open. He admitted that he was Junho. He also said that he was like K, wanting to protect Sul-yeol. Not only that, Dr. Shin also mentioned something. That year, Sul-yeol ran away from home, leaving Junho and K in the house, and K had a tendency to be violent. Dr. Shin asked, if that was the case, how did Sul-yeol know whether the person who attacked his father was Junho or K? Sul-yeol knew that Junho said those words to manipulate K's psychology, wanting to blame K for his father's murder. But Sul-yeol completely trusted K. In order to find evidence that Dr. Shin had killed someone, Sul-yeol and K worked together to sneak into Dr. Shin's office at night. They found his videotapes. One of them was a video of Jung-hyun's counseling. In the videotape, Dr. Shin suggested that Jung-hyun seek psychological counseling and together with those trapped in their own hell, help save one another. To put it bluntly, it was psychological manipulation, inciting children who had been abused to exchange murders. Sul-yeol showed the video to his colleagues, but the problem is that Dr. Shin in this video never directly mentioned words like killing people. Based on these videos, he still could not be brought to justice. There was only one way to convict him, that was finding a connection between him and the drug trafficking organization and proving that he had murdered the organization's Andre. Then he would not be able to escape. But this was not simple. It turned out that the drug lord of the organization had broken into the investigation institute. She had stolen Andre's body and prepared to bury him. But Hye-gyum had once fought the drug lord. Her intuition had told her that the drug lord would definitely avenge Andre. Sure enough, that night, as soon as Sul-yeol stopped his car at the door, the drug lord appeared in the car and strangled him. It turned out that the drug lord had recorded the content of her last call with Andre. The content of the call showed that at that time, Andre had questioned Junho about the reason for buying drugs to lure Sul-yeol out. After that, Andre had been eliminated. The voice of Andre's murderer had also been heard on the phone. So now, the drug lord had come to find Sul-yeol. She wanted to know who the murderer was. During the struggle, Sul-yeol promised the drug lord that their goals were the same. They both wanted to catch the mastermind, so he hoped that the drug lord lord would cooperate with him, and he agreed to help the drug lord find the murderer and avenge Andre. The drug lord agreed with Sul-Yul. Just like that, the drug lord handed over the phone and fell into the trap. With important recording evidence, Sul-Yul used it to get an arrest warrant for Dr. Shin. But when Sul-Yul was about to arrest him, he received a phone call. It was Bok Jun, who was still alive. Moreover, the tone sounded very strange. Sul-Yul hurriedly went to meet Bok Jun, but as soon as they met, Bok Jun suddenly said that Sul-Yul was Jun-Ho. Before Sul-Yul could react, Bok Jun attacked him. At this moment, Dr. Shin arrived. Then something happened that made Sul-Yul unable to react. Dr. Shin killed Bok Jun right in front of Sul-Yul. It turned out that when Sul-Yul realized that Dr. Shin was Jun-Ho, Dr. Shin also realized that Sul-Yul had exposed his identity. The day before, Jun-Ho, who was also Dr. Shin, had sent a letter to Bok Jun. The content of the letter was psychological manipulation, wanting Bok Jun to leave this world. Many years ago, Jun-Ho had murdered his father, but used psychological manipulation to make Bok Jun take the blame for him, spending more than 20 years in prison. But now, Bok Jun is out. One was that he was no longer of any use. Second, he was worried that the secret of killing his father would be exposed. That's why Jun-Ho killed Bok Jun. If before, Dr. Shin and Sul-Yul had always been spying on each other, then now, Dr. Shin killing Bok Jun meant telling Sul-Yul that Dr. Shin was Jun-Ho. Facing Dr. Shin, there was nothing to be afraid of. Kay was angry and couldn't help but beat him up. Even though he was beaten so brutally, Dr. Shin still smiled evilly, as if everything was within his reach. Very quickly, Sul-Yul captured Dr. Shin. Sul-Yul read out Dr. Shin's crimes, such as killing his father, inciting murder, and eliminating Bok Jun. But Dr. Shin appeared calm, saying that none of these things were done by him, but by Jun-Ho. Sul-Yul had already said it. Dr. Shin was Jun-Ho, but he shook his head and asked Sul-Yul back, did Jun-Ho really exist? While Sul-Yul was still confused, Dr. Shin explained, 22 years ago, Jun-Ho had killed his father and then quickly disappeared. Why did he only appear now? And what's more, it was such a coincidence. Kay also appeared at this time. Perhaps in Sul-Yul's opinion, the victims were all related to Jun-Ho, but in Dr. Shin's opinion, there was another person related to all of them. That was Sul-Yul. Moreover, except for Sul-Yul, absolutely no one had ever seen Jun-Ho's true face. Sul-Yul seemed to understand. Dr. Shin meant that Kay was Jun-Ho. In other words, Jun-Ho was Sul-Yul's second personality, Sul-Yul himself. Dr. Shin also said that the person who killed Bok Jun was not him, but Sul-Yul. Sul-Yul wanted to go crazy, but he couldn't find any words to refute Dr. Shin. Hye-Gyum stood outside the interrogation room and heard everything. With no other choice, Sul-Yul could only tell Hye-Gyum about his multiple personality disorder. Sul-Yul explained to Hye-Gyum that he was not the murderer. It was all Dr. Shin's framing. Hye-Gyum was even crazier than Sul-Yul. She believed what Sul-Yul said, but how could anyone else believe him? After all, the story of Dr. Shin murdering Bok Jun was truly witnessed by only Sul-Yul. Now there was a big problem. The recording on the drug lord's phone could not be used as evidence. Dr. Shin was released. At the same time, the words Dr. Shin said in the interrogation room made Sul-Yul suspected by his superiors. Sul-Yul felt extremely frustrated. The murderer was right in front of him, but he could not bring him to justice. On the contrary, he was suspected. Very quickly, the order to search Sul-Yul's house was issued. The person who searched turned Sul-Yul's house upside down. His adoptive mother saw that and was very worried. After Sul-Yul returned home, his adoptive mother quietly pulled him aside and told him a secret. His adoptive mother said she remembered that 22 years ago, the first time she had met Sul-Yul, Sul-Yul had a knife in his hand. Moreover, he had been covered in blood because he had just killed his father and escaped. Sul-Yul couldn't understand why his adoptive mother suddenly had this memory, but his adoptive mother comforted him that she would definitely protect Sul-Yul. Moreover, she had already disposed of that knife. She told Sul-Yul to rest assured. Sul-Yul immediately realized that Dr. Shin must have said something to his adoptive mother. His guess was correct. A few days ago, his adoptive mother had gone to the hospital for a checkup because she had Alzheimer's disease. Coincidentally, the person who had examined her was Dr. Shin. It turned out that in addition to being a psychological counselor at the center, Dr. Shin also worked as an Alzheimer's counselor. At that time, Dr. Shin had spoken to Sul-Yul's adoptive mother. He said that the last time she had come for a checkup, she had forgotten a bag. He also said that it belonged to her youngest son. The adoptive mother had opened it and found a bloody knife. Because of Dr. Shin's words, the adoptive mother's memory had been cleverly fabricated. She thought that Sul-Yul had really murdered her biological father. His actions made Sul-Yul unable to react. He angrily went to find Dr. Shin and beat him up. Unexpectedly, at this time, the police searched and found the bloody knife in his house. It was the decisive evidence to charge Sul-Yul with murder. Because of this knife, Sul-Yul was arrested for murder. At that moment, Sul-Yul looked towards Towards K, he didn't have enough strength to explain anymore. Sul-yeol pulled out his gun and pointed it straight at Dr. Shin. He wanted to destroy this evil man, but at the critical moment, K stopped him. The result was that Dr. Shin became innocent and Sul-yeol was sent to a mental hospital because of his multiple personality disorder. 4 months had passed in a flash. At this time, Sul-yeol's spirit was extremely depressed. His eyes were always in a daze. Every day, the medical staff gave him medicine to quickly expel K from his body, thereby completely curing his multiple personality disorder. One day, Haegyeom came to visit him. Haegyeom mentioned K, but Sul-yeol yawned and asked who K was. Facing this Sul-yeol, Haegyeom was extremely helpless, but when Haegyeom left, when no one was paying attention, Sul-yeol suddenly spat out the pill in his mouth. In fact, he had not taken a single pill of this medicine. Not only that, K appeared again. It turned out that everything was Sul-yeol's disguise. Next, he would go out with K. They had to launch their perfect counterattack together. This time, Sul-yeol was fully prepared. Having lived in the mental hospital for several months, Sul-yeol had already discovered the situation there. He drew a sketch map, clearly noting the locations to avoid the cameras, and then discovered that the main doctor was using drugs to treat patients. He used this to threaten the doctor to let him out. The doctor, not wanting his secret to be revealed, wanted his colleagues to eliminate Sul-yeol halfway, but was beaten up by Sul-yeol. He had already predicted that there would be danger. After getting out, the first person Sul-yeol went to see was the psychologist doctor who had treated him. After all, Dr. Shin had the ability to see through people's nature. If he wanted to prove Dr. Shin's crime, he had to find a loophole in Dr. Shin's psychology. The psychologist doctor said that Dr. Shin always wore a mask to be human. Such a person was most afraid of having his mask taken off. Sul-yeol felt enlightened. To remove this mask, he must prove that Dr. Shin was Junho. This was his only psychological weakness. The psychologist doctor thought of another important point. If Junho was Dr. Shin, then who was Dr. Shin? This was indeed a clue. At this moment, a group of police were about to raid. The news that Sul-yeol had escaped from the mental hospital had spread everywhere. They were here to arrest him. Sul-yeol ran away in a hurry. Fortunately, Haegyeom and Kyung-tae were always there to help him. Sul-yeol got into Haegyeom's car and escaped capture in time. After that, he gathered with his teammates. Things were going much better. Sul-yeol thought of a key figure, the man in black who had been sent by Junho to attack him earlier. That person knew Junho's name, which showed that they had known each other before. Dr. Shin changed his identity. As long as he could find out who this person was, he could prove that Dr. Shin was Junho. It was just a pity that this person had already been killed by Junho. It was hard to find out his identity, but this was the only clue. So Haegyeom went to the prison to find the drug lord. Her subordinate Andre had found him before. Following the clues she provided, Haegyeom found a drug dealer. According to the dealer's statement, he had been in a mental hospital 10 years ago. The investigation found that the director of the mental hospital was the psychologist doctor that Sul-yeol often visited. However, that year the hospital had gone bankrupt, so the director opened a private psychiatric clinic. This time there was a solution. Sul-yeol immediately contacted the psychologist doctor. Luckily, the doctor still had the medical records from 10 years ago. Just by comparing the images, he could find out the real identity of this person. The result was beyond the psychologist doctor's expectations. After comparing the records, it was discovered that Junho had used patient's identity to change his name. Based on this, it was almost possible to prove Junho's fake identity. But when Sul-yeol ran to see the psychologist doctor, he was injured. It was Junho's doing. It turned out that in order to control Sul-yeol, Junho had secretly installed a camera in this clinic. To protect himself, he would not let anyone know his secret. Sul-yeol wanted to call an ambulance for the psychologist doctor. At this time, Haegyeom arrived with even worse news. Something had happened to Sul-yeol's adoptive mother. As soon as he entered the door, his brother informed Sul-yeol. Not knowing where his mother had heard the news that Sul-yeol was in danger, she wanted to go save him. Sul-yeol tried to comfort his mother's emotions, but when she met, she felt like she was meeting an enemy. She also said that this person was not her Sul-yeol. It was still Junho's trick. Taking advantage of the time when her adoptive mother had Alzheimer's, Junho manipulated her and even sent her a letter. The letter said that the criminal who went to prison was not Sul-yeol. The real Sul-yeol had been hidden by the fake Sul-yeol. Sul-yeol helped his adoptive mother remember every moment of the past. She had agreed to protect him. In the end, Sul-yeol's heartfelt words pulled her back to reality. As soon as Sul-yeol comforted her adoptive mother, Junho called and asked to meet Sul-yeol. The location was at Sul-yeol's old house. That was where everything started, and it would also be where everything ended. Of course, besides Sul-yeol, K also came here. After meeting each other, Junho admitted his true identity. Sul-yeol didn't understand why Junho kept targeting him, but Junho kept emphasizing that 20 years ago he had killed Sul-yeol's father, so he saved Sul-yeol from hell. But Sul-yeol refused to admit it. To prove it, Junho lit a fire. The fire in Sul-yeol's house reappeared, exactly like 20 years ago. The only difference was that the person currently surrounded by the fire was Jong-hyun. It turned out that Jong-hyun had pretended to cooperate with Junho. In fact, he had quietly recorded Junho's words, but unfortunately he was discovered. Junho had started, so he couldn't turn back. He wanted to get rid of Jong-hyun. Looking at the fire before his eyes, Sul-yeol's memories gradually overlapped with those of 20 years ago. That memory was too painful. At this moment, Kay appeared. Kay encouraged Sul-yeol. They had once gone through the fire together, so what was this little danger? Listening to Kay's encouragement, Sul-yeol rushed into the fire to save Jong-hyun, but was attacked from behind by Junho. Only then did Junho fully reveal his true nature. He wanted Sul-yeol to admit that 20 years ago, it was because he had killed Sul-yeol's father that Sul-yeol was able to escape suffering. Unfortunately, whether it was 20 years ago or now, in Sul-yeol's heart, murder was murder. Committing a crime was not a good reason. The fire grew bigger and bigger. Sul-yeol still did not call for help. Junho stabbed Sul-yeol once, then left. At this time, Sul-yeol was already surrounded by a sea of fire. Kay also fell into a coma. When Sul-yeol was about to lose consciousness, the previous scenes came back to him. The psychologically manipulated teenagers. Kay always guided him. The mother always believed in him. And Kay's words, Kay hoped that he would believe in him. All of that gave Sul-yeol courage and confidence. Finally, Sul-yeol mustered up enough strength. He carried Jong-hyun out of the sea of fire. After getting Jong-hyun out, Sul-yeol hurriedly blocked Junho's way. Now Sul-yeol understood completely. Junho always confronted him because he was afraid of him, because Sul-yeol was someone Junho couldn't control. Knowing the truth, now was the time to fight back. Sul-yeol and Junho rushed into battle. This time, Sul-yeol didn't back down. The person he loved trusted him so much. How could he betray their expectations? In the end, Junho was beaten continuously by Sul-yeol. In this battle, Sul-yeol won completely. Justice, courage and faith, these were originally qualities that only Kay had. Now Sul-yeol had them all. Therefore, it was time for Kay to leave. In the door of his subconscious, Kay said goodbye to Sul-yeol. Sul-yeol looked at the madman who shared his body with him. After going through so many hardships, he was extremely reluctant. At this moment, Kay was hiding in the room crying like a child. Sul-yeol and Kay hugged each other tightly. To him, Kay had long been more than just a personality, but a real person, his best friend. After saying goodbye to Kay, Sul-yeol also woke up. It was Hee-gyum and Kyung-tae who brought him to the hospital. They also brought a lot of good news. Jong-hyun and the psychologist doctor were both only slightly injured. There was nothing to worry about anymore. And on the psychologist doctor's computer, they found the profile that Junho had impersonated. Not only that, for the past few years, Junho had been impersonating other people. He fantasized about being a savior. For many years, he had been using psychological manipulation to poison the patients of the youth center and mental hospital. Jong-hyun testified to all of these things, so it would be difficult for Junho to escape punishment. As for Sul-yeol, he could prove his innocence. Justice had triumphed over evil. Kay had left. Everything returned to peace. Sometime later, a meeting was held to discuss Sul-yeol's reinstatement. His superiors had reminded Sul-yeol he had to deny the multiple personalities. He kept saying that this was a scheme to lure others into a trap. But in Sul-yeol's mind, the image of Kay always appeared. That crazy name, the name of a hero that belonged to him alone. In the end, Sul-yeol told his superiors that Kay really did exist. Moreover, he also liked that name very much. Sul-yeol also knew that if he said this, he would most likely not be able to be reinstated, but he couldn't forget Kay, and even more so, he couldn't erase Kay's existence. Sul-yeol temporarily left the police force to help his older brother and adoptive mother run a pizza shop. In this warm little shop, a family of 3 lived together, very warm and happy. Besides the 3 of them, this house had another family member, Jong-hyun. He came to apply for a job as a delivery man. Everything was a completely new start, but what Sul-yeol missed the most was still Kay. Kay had been gone for a long time. At this time, Hyum walked over. Hye-gyum wanted to know if the last time Sul-yeol kissed her, was it Sul-yeol himself or Kay? Suddenly, Kay appeared. He even held Sul-yeol tightly and wouldn't let go. Kay questioned Sul-yeol about what he had done to him that day. After all, justice and love were not the same. His Hye-gyum would absolutely not give in to anyone. But very quickly, Kay disappeared again. It turned out that what had just happened was just Sul-yeol's illusion. Sul-yeol told Hye-gyum that if Kay knew what they had done that day, Kay would definitely not forgive him. Hye-gyum understood. That person was Sul-yeol. Not only that, Sul-yeol also planned to go to the police station. Now that Kay was gone, it was Hye-gyum's turn to monitor him. From then on, Sul-yeol smoothly returned to the police station. Junho had to receive a suitable punishment. The trial ended. The drug lord suddenly knocked out the prison guard, took off the handcuffs, and stopped Junho. She killed Junho, which was considered revenge for Andre. A year passed. The dismissed officer tried to bribe Sul Yul, but he took a photo of it as evidence. Hye Gyum and Kyung Tae became Sul Yul's most powerful assistants. The dismissed officer revealed that this bribe would bring out the mastermind behind it, and this person was the chief of the police station. When Sul Yul knew about this, he immediately ran to the police station. He jumped up, stretched out his legs, and kicked straight at Chief. Everything was the same as before. It's just that now it was impossible to tell if this person was Sul Yul or K. All we know is that he was the last hero of that era. Crazy man with a righteous heart. The drama ends here. Thank you everyone for watching and supporting. Bye bye.